My fiance called off our wedding because of our financial differences.
It's just too expensive.
Too expensive these days. By the way, this comes from the r/OK Start Time subreddit, one of our very own. So I will be using fake names just for privacy. Also, Kara, with a C, is on Reddit, and I have her permission to share the story just to make sure that I conceal their identities. Last October, my husband, Luke, 35 male, and I, 34 female, got invited to an engagement dinner party of his bestie fiance, Kara, 32 female, and her fiance, Steven, 34 male. By the way, this comes from Hikari Sakura, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit, like this one is from. It's one of our very own. For context, my husband and Kara are best friends, and they both work as ER nurses for 8 years now in the same hospital. She met Steven, he's an EMT and is currently going to nursing school in 2020 during the peak of the pandemic, and they started dating just a few months after meeting. We're very happy for both of them, and we both think she finally found someone who matches her quirky and fun attitude. We even helped Steven plan the proposal during a camping trip we both helped organize. As uncomfortable as I am to discuss this, this will be important to address. Kara has her own apartment now, but she remains really close to her family who live in a very affluent Newport Beach neighborhood.
Ooh.
Very fancy. Her mom is a nurse practitioner and her dad is a cosmetic surgeon. Her older twin sisters are corporate lawyers. Dude, twin sister corporate lawyers?
Crazy. Do they work together?
That would be wild.
Like Johnson and Johnson. We're not the same person.
We're different.
We're different.
But
we'll fight for you the same.
Twin sister corporate lawyers sounds like a TV show, a fake TV show inside of a real TV show.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, I know exactly that. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Kara herself will be enrolling in the nurse practitioner program, and we even spoke about probably doing it together in the future when I graduate from nursing this year. Needless to say, Kara came from a family of high achievers and shmoney, but despite all of that, she and her family remain humble and down to earth. These details are important to note. Steven, on the other hand, grew up with 6 other siblings and a single mother who had to work multiple jobs to get by and had to take a student loan for education like the most of us, unlike Kara, who graduated without any student loan and got gifted with a luxury car as a graduation gift.
Ooh, boy.
Very
She's got
fancy.
money.
Big shmoney. Let me be clear. There is nothing wrong with how Steven lived, as he is like most of us. Also, nothing wrong with how Kara grew up. They are both kind people, and I thought that they would make a very good couple.
You thought wrong.
Thought? I caught that, OP. Going back to the engagement party that was held at Kara's family home, everyone was so happy to see them together. Steven's family came by, and they met Kara's family, who treated them like they were family already. Kara's mom and I are both introverts, so we went ahead and sat by the pool where we spoke about life. They attended my own wedding years ago, and how happy we are that her daughter is finally settling down with a man who they think will love her dearly and sincerely.
I do want to say I was really worried that this was going to be about OP, like someone leaving OP.
Yes.
Because it's one of our own. I was like, oh no, but it's not. I mean,
not.
Obviously still about someone you care about, but
Yes.
at least it's not.
We're
you.
glad your relationship is safe,
Yes.
OP. And just like that, the wedding planning began.
Ooh.
Save the date was June 28th.
Dude, that's the day before my birthday.
Yes.
Wait, that's this month?
That's this month.
That's this month.
It hasn't even happened
It hasn't even happened yet. It's one day before my birthday.
We are talking about the future. One day pre-Sophia birthday future, that is. Now, fast forward to last Saturday when Luke received a phone call from Kara whilst crying. Who's Luke again?
That's a good question.
Yes.
And one I don't know the answer to.
Let's use this.
Who's Luke?
I have a feeling like this might have been the first time he was mentioned and just like plopped in there.
Sophia says you're cancer.
Oh, Luke is the husband of the narrator in the story who is a 35-year-old.
Okay, there we go.
Dingus bot.
Oh, there we go. Killing it, Dingus.
I think that's the first time I've seen it work. Let's go.
I've seen it work a couple times.
There we go.
But I am
All
proud
right.
of it nonetheless.
That was so helpful. Shout out Dingus bot. She asked if she could come to our home and talk to us. Luke, OP's husband, is on medical leave after an appendectomy, so they haven't seen each other in a week. I heard her distressed voice, so I asked if she wanted me to pick her up from her apartment, and she said okay. I drove over to her apartment and saw her with her hair all unkempt and her face was swollen from crying. She immediately hugged me and cried all over again.
No.
I have a sense something might be wrong. I sat her down on the couch and grabbed a glass of water for her to drink. As soon as she calmed down a little bit, she started telling me that no wedding was going to happen. I was shocked and asked what happened. And she said she just wants to have someone to talk to. So I told her that she can stay in our spare room for as long as she wants. I can't leave Luke, who's recovering from surgery, so she has to move in with us. And she said, okay. I helped pack up some of her clothes and necessities, and I drove her to our home and had her settle in our guest room. There, she told us she needed to sleep first and she'll eventually talk to us. We didn't force her, but we did tell her that she can talk to us at any time she's ready, and she thanked us. She slept for a few hours, and Luke and I were concerned. I mean, I would be too. It's like, hey, I'm canceling the wedding. I don't want to live here. And so she's just like at your place now, just like sleeping. And of course, it's like, if she's distressed, like, hey, take your time. But I'd be like, man, what is going on? Like, I'd be talking to my partner like,
yeah.
Huh? But we let her rest for now as she looked like she needed it badly. We tried calling Steven, but he wasn't picking up, and we were getting concerned if he was okay or whatever. When she woke up, I offered her some toiletries so she could shower and freshen up. I also ordered her favorite food so we could all eat together. OP's
thinking 10 steps ahead.
10 steps ahead, clutch friend, and obviously part of the community. We already knew OP was going to be amazing.
So true.
It was after we ate when she told us what happened. Steven and Kara did break up, and the wedding got canceled.
Oof.
She told us that ever since the engagement party, Steven had been acting very insecure towards her family, but she never spoke about it to anyone, thinking it would just drive him further away.
Ooh. And comes from a really, really wealthy family, and he does not.
Right. It's
super tough because in either direction, money can be very divisive.
Yeah.
Because you can have families who are very rich and look down upon a person who has lower income background.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other side, you have people that can never get over that kind of, not necessarily jealousy, but othering. They're like, I am never going to be that. I never had that.
Yeah.
I'll never understand you or your life.
It could also be the classic male, oh, I'm not they're wealthier than me. I'm not
inadequacy.
The big family breadwinner or whatever. And then that insecurity just drives them to be dumbos. Plus, the stress of the wedding planning was also overwhelming her. Her family offered to pay for all of the wedding expenses, but she said she didn't want them to take full financial responsibility. So they settled that her parents and siblings would pay 50% of the expenses, while Kara and Steven would take care of the other half. Apparently, this made Steven feel awful and said that she made him feel inadequate.
Exactly what I said.
Mm-hmm. Like he can't provide her with the wedding she wanted. When asked how she could make it right, he just said nothing could be done anymore because it's already a fact that he grew up in poverty while she came from money.
He said that.
He said that.
Dude, why are you letting your pride and your I don't know, jealousy get in the way of this clearly good relationship?
Yeah. Also, you got a wedding for half off, my guy.
Why? I really don't understand. I understand why people don't want to take handouts and stuff, but
yes.
I don't know. You're really you're allowed to say, hey, I don't want to fully take all of this. You can say no. Don't break up over it.
Yeah.
Maybe your thing is, hey, I don't feel super comfortable accepting that much money. Let's have a smaller wedding.
Yeah,
and then you work at a compromise. Maybe it's her saying, you know what, I would love to have some of my family members come and they're willing to chip in to have that.
Yeah.
Compromise. It doesn't have to be the end, but he's so he's got all of this machismo attitude about oh, I have to be the man.
And you know what, too? He's probably I can't downsize the wedding because she grew up in all this crazy stuff and now she has to have the biggest thing ever and da-da-da. Yeah, if you at least, I don't know what it is about weddings where people are oh, there's no middle ground. This has to be the way it is.
Exactly.
We read a story recently where they were hosting their wedding in Dubai and they're oh, this is the quote unquote, mandatory hotel to stay at.
Mm-hmm.
And it was $4,000 and the parents were hey, we can't make it. So oh, the parents aren't coming to the wedding. It's dude, let them stay in a different hotel. Literally, if you had just done that, I mean, forget even moving locations, which also could have been smart. Just let them stay at a cheap hotel they can afford, and boom, they can come to the wedding and it's not an issue.
Yeah. No, he literally could have just talked to her. He's just assuming. He's assuming that she wants the wedding exactly this way and is not willing to compromise without asking.
Not cool, dude.
Yeah.
Kara's dad also politely offered to pay off his nursing tuition and the loans he made since he's already part of the family. And he wants them to start their married life with less stress, but he nicely declined, saying that since he's working, it wasn't an issue. Which is fine.
You're allowed to say no.
Yeah, totally. But while the whole conversation was polite, it made Steven feel like he was useless.
That's like a therapy thing.
Yes.
Like, unless they are actually being rude, saying like, oh, like we look down at you because you have this background and because you make less money.
Yeah.
Then you are creating these problems in your mind, which obviously maybe you have like some, upbringing that like has created these mental issues.
Yeah.
Problems that you're creating in your mind.
Yeah.
But that's what therapy's for.
Yes.
Don't put that on your partner.
And yeah, maybe the upbringing kind of was kind of what grew some of these problems, but it is which is, you didn't ask to grow up the way you did, but it is ultimately our responsibility to work on those things. So many other stories to mention, but it all ended with Steven becoming more and more insecure to a point that he started developing resentment towards Kara and her family. It also didn't help that Steven's coworkers were teasing him during their party that he's so lucky that he found his ultimate meal ticket with Kara's family, that he won't have to worry about anything once the marriage contract is filed.
Which then you realize, oh, these people around me who are saying this are not my friends.
Yes.
They are making fun of me.
Yes.
They are not people I want to have in my life anymore. Not like, oh, they're right. I have to leave Kara.
Yeah, right. Do you want to keep the friends who are like belittling you and making jokes about your life? Or do you want to stay with the woman you decided to spend your life with?
Yeah.
You're marrying your stupid friends.
Yep.
They kept telling him that he's such a lucky guy with a rags to riches story.
Wow. His friends suck.
Come on, man. From Kara's side of the story, all these engagement and wedding plan events made Steven spiral down into a deep depression, basically being mentally dragged down by his own insecurities. I felt so bad for Kara and her family, who really didn't look down on him and his family in any way, but also felt horrible for Steven because in a way, I do understand how he felt. The final straw was the night before. Steven came over to her apartment and they started discussing their honeymoon. Steven said that he couldn't afford to pay his share of the honeymoon expenses just yet because he had to help his family financially right now. She responded by saying that she could pay for it now and he could pay her once he's capable of doing so. Steven apparently just went silent, went to the bathroom for a few minutes, and told her that he couldn't marry her and that she should date someone who was rich as well.
Literally could have just had a conversation with her and said, hey, I don't feel super comfortable with people, not in art, like that are not you.
Yeah.
Paying for everything. I want to feel a sense of independence.
Yeah.
And so instead of, paying for this super expensive thing, could we instead pay for something a little bit more manageable?
Yeah.
Like that, he could have said that. That would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like she is operating from the perspective of like, it's just money. I love you. What's the problem? And
Let's
he's
enjoy
operating
things.
from the perspective of like, I did not grow up with a lot. I've had to work to get where I am. And it means a lot when someone offers to pay something. Like that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Both are fine perspectives. Both take a little communication,
Yes.
which maybe you shouldn't get married if you can't communicate.
Yeah. I mean, again, at the end of the day, if you have such a huge misalignment to the point where someone says, we shouldn't marry each other because you should date someone who's rich.
Come on.
What are we going to do from there? Hard to fix. Kara panicked and apologized profusely, but he said that he wouldn't be able to tolerate the fact that people would overlook his own efforts because of Kara's opulence. He said he'd tell his family and friends, and she'd be responsible for telling hers, and just walked out.
Wow.
She cried all night and hasn't told anyone but us. After hearing her out, she asked to be left alone in the room so she could make the necessary phone calls and emails. Luke and I offered to help in any way we could, but she thanked us, telling us that this is something that she has to do alone. Luke is upset about this and kept trying to call Steven, but he kept rejecting his call. It's been days since this has happened. Kara moved in with her parents for the meantime, and Steven finally called Luke. The whole conversation went so heated that I had to calm Luke down as he was getting upset and started clutching his wound. They stopped talking when Steven hung up. Luke told me that Steven did confirm what Kara told us, and that he, a poor chud, his words not mine, doesn't deserve someone like Kara. He called Steven a coward and an a-hole, and then the call ended. The cancellation emails have been sent to everyone invited and the reservations made, and Kara will be going to the Kauai honeymoon with her family instead. Bless them for being so supportive during these dark times. They won't be getting their full refund of the deposits on the canceled services. Oh man, the canceled weddings, it's just like, it's so expensive, and then you only get a portion, if that, sometimes.
No, and it seems like this is probably if it's due now, this is probably pretty recent.
Yes. The wedding was going to be the day before your birthday.
The day before my birthday.
Kara's family didn't care, and they just want to get over it. Her wedding dress is already paid for, so she plans on donating it to another bride who can't afford to buy a dress.
That's really lovely.
I like that.
See, that's, I think that's another point showing that she is really, she knows she has a lot of money.
Yes.
And she knows that she has a responsibility.
Yes.
Because of that.
It can be done. I think Kara's family is an example of it being done well. Again, like the dad saw he was stressed with the loans. He's like, hey, if you want, I would love to pay it off. And then Steven politely declined, and it seemed he was like, oh yeah, no problem.
No, I've known a lot, like, some people, like close friends or family friends who are like very wealthy, and some have been like very generous.
Yeah. Like
lovely people. Like you wouldn't even know, that they have this wealth.
Yeah.
And then you have some people who are like, I have a lot of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to know it, and I'm not going to share any of it.
And you know it.
And that's not these people.
That's not.
And it's not these people. So I'm like, Steven does not have anything to stand on.
Absolutely. If you want to stand on the rock solid foundation of over 2,000 episodes of our show by listening to them, you can go to Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and search OK Storytime and binge our entire catalog to your heart's delight. But ladies and gentlemen, we are almost at the end of the story here. We actually do have a decent chunk left before we finish. I have a question for you.
And I have an answer.
Specifically on Luke's phone call to Steven.
Yeah.
What do you think of Luke's approach in talking with Steven?
Well, it seems like he was just trying to like talk to him, and then he learned what happened.
Yeah.
I don't think it was necessarily bad. I think that probably was kind of the only way he could have talked to Steven, because Steven probably didn't want to meet up with him.
Yeah. No, I mean like about what was said, or like not the phone call happening itself. I don't know
much of what was said, other than like he got the information and then he said that he was a coward afterwards.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like trying to think. I'm like, I don't know really what they said.
Because I was like trying to think. Basically, I was like, was it a little too much to like call him a coward and an a-hole?
I don't know if he said that to. Well, he might have.
I think he said that to Steven on the phone.
I know that he called him a coward and a-hole to OP.
He called Steven. Luke told me that Steven did confirm. Okay, yeah, maybe he did.
He might have. I mean, there's a good chance that he did say you're a coward.
It's confusing whether it was on the call or when he was telling OP about the call and saying.
Yeah, I mean, sure, maybe not like the best way to go about it, but also if he did do that. But also, I totally understand. He's probably feeling very protective about this.
Very frustrated.
Yeah, frustrated about like this man who's thrown away great stuff in his life.
Yes.
Great relationship.
Absolutely.
There is a comment from Rini. Could you scroll up a little bit? Rini says, I really don't think this is ego. I think this is growing up poor and not being able to handle people being flippant about money. Working so hard to pull himself out and no one recognizing it. I think that is an explanation for, but I do think it is ego and pride. I think that when you've had to work yourself up, you have this pride in how much effort you've done, you put in to get money and have like a stable life, that you don't want to accept any handouts and you become very independent. It's very much like on a broader scale, it's very much like the American mindset of like independence. I don't want no government handouts, whereas you see other cultures where like familial government a lot more involved.
Yeah.
And on a micro scale, that's what Steven's doing. He's like, I had to work so hard for this. I can't believe that they would insult me, insult my pride to even say that they would just like pay for all of this, as if my money doesn't matter, as if my hard work doesn't matter, which is not what they're saying, but is what he's hearing.
Yeah. And like the bottom line is that is coming out in a very, very negative fashion in the relationship.
Yeah.
Where he's, bringing all this negativity to, and then ultimately calling off the wedding.
Yeah. Which like definition is ego.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking about himself.
Yes.
And, how it affects, he's placing his own meaning on the actions of others.
Yes, this is true. And we have a little bit left of the story. Let's dive in. Luke said she's taking an indefinite leave and their supervisor, who is supposed to officiate the wedding, helped her with that. Kara asked us if we could come as well, so now we're making arrangements to make that happen, since we could use some time to relax too and be there for her, as she has been with us when we needed her. I just wish that both Kara and Steven will find love and peace. The whole event is the definition of sometimes love just ain't enough, and it's so sad to think about. We do have some relevant comments. One from Chloe Roses. It is sad. Some guys would like their future father-in-law to pay for expenses like their school debt, and others apparently not. The only odd thing to me is traditionally the parents of the bride are supposed to pay for the wedding and the bride and the groom and the honeymoon. So this 50-50 thing with parents for wedding expenses seems silly given their means. Dude, like, let her parents give her a nice wedding, focus on paying for the ring and honeymoon. No shame in that. I think Steven is struggling with the question, why does this amazing woman want me in her life? He clearly doesn't feel good enough for her. I think it's just sad he threw it all away. Well, it was better for him to do it now than wait and get married, only to divorce her in a few years' time. Hope Kara and he find their perfect matches and wish both of them the best. Yeah, again, like, I think it's okay for Steven to feel like, man, like I feel bad about not being able to provide in a way or give you this gift. He's like, maybe he's like, I can see where it's like, hey, this is a gift I would like to give you. But again, he goes down the rabbit hole of the ego and the insecurity, and then he brings all of that negativity into the relationship without stopping to say, well, wait a second, maybe this is, my own like spiraling of what I feel about these things, and maybe there is a way to, talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And figure it out. Because again, I personally don't think I would totally understand if he's like, hey, I just got to say it like, I am like sad. I feel like defeated maybe. Like I could totally understand that perspective if he felt that way. And there's, I think in expressing that, there's room to work together for them to be able to have a successful relationship.
Agreed. I mean, like, I've been in situations where like I'm hanging out or, talking to people who have a lot more money than me or grew up with a lot more money. And there is like can be a cognitive dissonance in how you spend money. And it can be a little bit frustrating to talk to people when they're like, oh, well, just buy that. Or I don't know, you just do this. And I'm like, well, no.
Yeah.
Because I have a different relationship to money than that.
Yes.
And I can totally understand where Steven's coming from to trying to have conversations with his wife or fiance, and then her being like, well, you just buy it. And he's like, no. But that does not mean that you can't compromise and have conversations and reach like an agreement that, is not just ending the relationship. And
that's a good point to bring up, because it seems, just reading in between the lines, they never fully got the understanding of each other's perspective, where it's like the family kind of kept offering in a nice way, it seems, but maybe they never got the connection of like, oh, hey, maybe this is, because our perception is, oh, just pay for it, it's fine. Like the wedding dress and everything, they're like, oh, we don't care about the money, we just want you to feel better, right? Which is great in many ways, but again, to Steven's perspective, it's like, well, exactly. And I 100% understand. Yes.
But again,
It can't come to this.
no.
It-
It
that's-
could
that's
if
where it gets
he
bad.
had the conversation and you still didn't listen,
Yes.
different story.
Totally different.
That's
story.
not what happened here.
But we're in this story.
We're in this story and he didn't communicate at all.
And we have comment number 2 from Rosalie83. And this is just another example of toxic masculinity. Instead of working on his own insecurities about their different financial upbringings, he made it her fault. But look at the friends he surrounded himself with. Kara, I know it hurts like heck now, but he did you a favor. He wasn't strong enough to be your partner. Your family's financial advantages shouldn't be a burden to your partner. He should have been happy for you, respecting it and them, and working hard in his own chosen career, knowing you chose him for him as your equal partner and not what he can provide for you as you can provide for yourself. Hugs. And that is it.
Hugs.
Hugs. That is how we're closing this bad boy out.
Yeah. Man. Didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, to that last comment, the good news here is that they did discover this now, and there's just a clear misalignment. Imagine they had already gotten married.
Oh my goodness. The financial stuff would have been even more of a problem because
So
they
much
probably
worse.
would have wanted to pay for the kids. And then he would have been like, oh, I'm the man of this house.
Yeah. So better it happened, sucks that it was right before the wedding,
Yeah.
but you know what? Way better that it happened before the wedding than any time after.
Mhm.
Any time after.
Yeah.
So there we go.
But that's the end of that story, folks.
That's
So
right.
we're going to get into the next one.
My father cut me out of the inheritance.
Cut me back in.
Cut me in, daddy. Well, my dad has a business that me and my brother work for. My dad wants to leave the family business entirely to my older brother. He says that makes the most sense because my older brother is his oldest child and has been in the business the longest. He has a business degree and knows much more about the business side of his work because there's some other side that's not business related.
Business.
Mhm. By the way, this comes from Telethesis on the r/2hot takes subreddit. And if you want to submit your own story, go to the r/OK subreddit and send it in. So while I do the physical aspect of the job very well, I was a bit impulsive when I was younger. So he doesn't think it would be a good idea for me to be charged. To be honest, I don't think it would be either, but considering how much I contribute to this business and that I am his son too, I think I should at least get some of the say in the future of the business and a stake in the company.
I mean, I think that, yes, in part, but also I think that you need to kind of prove that. And if you are trying to prove that and he's not even letting you, like he's not acknowledging that, then that's another thing.
Indeed.
But I feel like if you're just like,
I deserve it because I want it.
so that's nepotism.
Indeed. I feel like at this early in the story,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, it could potentially
go either way.
Either way. The one thing I will say is you don't have to give him the control of the
Well,
company.
I guess he said he's done a lot of the physical work for the yeah.
Yeah, and
So he has done a lot of work for the company.
yeah, because like inheritance is like, oh, I'm giving my children just
Mhm.
part of it. That's generally not even associated with like, oh, they worked on it, whatever. It's like, oh,
Exactly.
it's
so
like
the
half
stake in the company, yeah.
So something
Mhm.
there. Not even half, but some stake in the company, right?
Yeah.
In the end, my father said no, but that I would get some money after he passed away. The whole thing really pissed me off, and I was starting to get bitter at continuing to work there and be around them, so I gave my 2 weeks notice. I've been trying to keep a neutral demeanor the whole time. This is my last week, and Jared, the guy that presents our biggest client, was asking if I could take care of this other project next week. So I told him I would pass that along to my brother, but that I am not going to be working here next week.
Whoa.
I'm not going to be here.
Which honestly, yeah, if you're not getting paid the way that you want to be,
Yeah.
like if your dad's not appreciating the work that you do and you've asked for your raise, or not your raise, but you've asked, you've made your requests and stuff, and he's like, no, don't stay there.
Yeah, being in family business can be tough.
It's tough, yeah.
Not everyone is the Donners.
It's so true.
Let me tell you that.
Not anyone can flawlessly work with their brother like
That's
me.
right. Jared and I talk a lot and are pretty friendly with each other because I'm the one who mostly works this job. We've actually hung out outside of work a few times. So he asked me why I was leaving. I just said for personal reasons. He asked where I was going to be working, and I told him I wasn't sure yet because there's not a lot of business that need employees with my skills. Anyway, today while I'm working, Jared's boss comes down and asks if I will consider working for them.
Whoa, little poaching going on
Little
here.
poaching action. He said he's been thinking for a while of doing all of this work in-house, but has been having trouble finding someone experienced since it's such a specialized field. He said he's always been very happy with my work, and that's why they always request me. He offered me a 3-year contract, and the salary is so much more than I ever would have made at my dad's company. Plus, it comes with benefits and an office.
Heck yeah. Perfect.
I mean,
You get benefits and an office.
come on.
And someone who appreciates what you can offer, because your dad clearly does not.
He just listed all things that were all significantly better.
I agree.
Not sure what I'll do with an office, but that seems pretty cool.
What I'm going to do in office? I could do anything with an office.
I-
The possibilities are limitless with
It's
an
a whole
office.
box I can sit and wake in.
I don't know. I could play Uno in an office.
I could shuffle papers in an office.
Who's to say?
Forget about it.
I could do a lot in an office.
I also get to pick out the equipment, and I can hire 2 employees to work under me. It just keeps
Getting better.
Overall, it's an amazing deal, but I know that losing this client will hit my family's business hard because remember, this means that the client would no longer be working with his family's business with OP coming
Yeah.
over. At the same time, it's not like I was asking for it or trying to steal their client. He was the one that came to me and wanted me. I thought about maybe using this as a bargaining chip with my dad to get some say and stake in the company, but honestly, I don't want to get it that way, and I just don't want to work with either of them anymore. Yeah, I mean, we have a quick edit coming up, but yeah, it seems like he's like, hey, look, you guys are not showing me the respect, and this new company instantaneously is giving him like way more respect and benefits and salary and everything.
Yeah, because at the beginning I was like, oh, well, if it's just him asking for it and he's not able to like, meet the needs for the roles that he wants to be a part of, that's different. But he is, seemingly.
Yeah.
He's just not being given that chance. And so he's going to somewhere where they're going to give him that chance.
And again, if you don't want to give your kids inheritance, that's fine. But
Yeah.
to give one kid like pretty much all the inheritance or like the vast majority of the inheritance and not give it to the other is kind of like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
You could give him the monetary amount and have him not have say in the company. That's
what I was going to, like he could
That's
have a
okay.
stake in the company. He's doing a lot of work.
Yeah, come on now. There's an edit. I really regret putting the whole bargaining chip in this post. People seem to keep focusing on me doing that when I say right afterwards that I don't want to do that and don't even want to work with them anymore. It was just a fleeting thought, guys. It's okay. We can have a fleeting thought.
It can fleet.
We can
It
fleet.
can flit.
We can fleet. Edit number 2. Seriously, guys, not actually planning on bargaining or negotiating with my dad or my brother. And the verdict was not the a-hole. We have some relevant comments, but very quick. Do we agree, Sophia?
Yeah. I mean, in the same way, not exactly in the same way, but like somewhat in the same way that your dad said no to giving you a stake in the company or, a say in the business because that was just business. So is this.
Yes. It's like, hey, you didn't want to give me something. That's okay.
Yeah.
These guys over here, they offered it
They
to me. So
they want me.
what
They
am I?
want me more than you.
What am I supposed to do? Not get anything from you and then not get anything from them?
Peace out,
What
Girl
sense
Scout.
does that make? If you want me so bad, then give me the things they're offering me.
Beg for me.
Beg for me. Oh, we got some relevant comments going on. So, commenter number 1 says, not the a-hole. It's not personal. It's just business. If he's been thinking about looking for someone specialized in that field, he could have left from your dad's firm at any moment once said person would have shown up. Will it be awkward or will your family be upset? Maybe. But you gave your notice and they haven't attempted to retain you. You would be the a-hole if you tried to leverage this. But as is, you gave your notice. The client was looking for someone to employ. Anyone who has ever employed anyone or had clients knows that people leave or make choices that you may disagree with. It
Yeah.
happens. Commenter number 2 says, just want to second this, but OP, please don't use this as leverage or anything like that. OP, don't worry. It was just a fleeting thought or don't want to work with either of them anymore. Commenter number 3 says, not the a-hole. Your dad was being completely unfair. You now have an awesome opportunity. Go for it. I would, however, check any employment contracts you have and make sure you're doing it by the book. For example, my old contract said I couldn't work in a competitor business until 6 months after I left my old place. Opie says, I'm pretty sure mine didn't have any competitor clause. It was really short, like 2 paragraphs long. I'll check again later, though, when I get back to my office. Really quick, would OP be the a-hole if he came back to his dad and was like, hey, they offered me this. Do you want to try to match that or beat that?
Everyone was saying, don't use this as leverage. Don't. I feel like you could. I don't know. Like, I was like, I feel like you could. Like, what is so... I feel like a lot of people do that all the time, no?
Yes.
Where they're like, hey, I'm getting paid. I can get paid way more.
Yeah.
If you want to keep me, you have to pay more to keep me.
I think it's perfectly fine. Like,
I was also wondering about that. I was like, oh, is that?
It sounds like
Everyone's
people in
super against
droves
it.
are lambasting.
Yeah, I'm like, what is
OP.
wrong about that?
Yeah, like I mean, I guess like tone matters of like
Sure.
if he goes, he's like, hey, look, I got this other offer. Like, here's everything they offered me. Like,
Yeah.
are you guys able to match that? So I could like, because it kind of low key wouldn't make sense to continue working here when I have all of these things in this other offer.
Yeah.
Versus like, all right,
Now I've got all this. Now you need to, 3x this or whatever. Like,
okay, if he's saying that, then yeah, okay, that's like giving some a-hole vibes. But if he's just like, hey, can you match this or beat it? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Commenter number 4, info. Do you know how much money they pay your dad's company for the work? The new company may be taking advantage of you and your family by hiring you and quitting business with your dad. I guess that makes sense if it's like, oh, we pay them, $150K a year and we're giving you $100K a year or whatever.
Sure,
But
yeah.
like also, again, like if they can get what they need
Yeah.
for hiring him for like that salary, then it kind of is what it is. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Opie says they definitely pay my dad's company a lot more to do the work, which would make like a whole company.
Yeah, it's a whole
contract.
company.
Makes sense. But the salary they're offering me is more than what the high end of someone in my position normally makes. I wouldn't expect to make as much as a subcontractor would, since I'm not the one paying for all the expenses and equipment. Commenter number 5 says, not the a-hole. Obviously, Jared and his company respect/value your work more than your brother and father. Yeah. I can't believe your brother didn't even try to fight for you to get some kind of stake in the company. I would be pissed. Like everyone else said, you're just another employee. Screw that.
Screw that.
Flip side, if you take this job, be prepared for your father to take you off his will and you may get nothing.
Yeah.
That is true, because he did say you'll get some money. The one thing we didn't specify is how much. And like, for example, if he just gave OP the dollar equivalent of what the stake in the company is, that's okay,
Yeah.
I think.
Sure.
If it's like a company control or thing, like, oh, I want him to be decision making or whatever, since he's been making decisions.
Yeah.
Or it could be, at least better. At least way better.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you just have to like decide, do you want this job and the opportunities it will provide you more than you want that money that you'll get like much further down the line?
Are you okay with losing that?
Yeah.
Are you okay with losing? That's a good question to ask yourself here. Seems like a good possibility of this happening from the way it sounds. Don't let that stop you from taking a great job opportunity. I would take the job offer. I wouldn't start for a couple of weeks after you left, though. Then tell your father and brother about a week before you started. I would also ask Jared and his company if they think after 3 years they're going to renew contracts and keep the position. Basically, find out how secure the job is in the future with the new company. Keep us updated. I'm very curious on how this plays out and pays out. I just added that.
I just added that. Smart.
By the way, you putting in your 2 weeks notice and they didn't even try to retain you says something. A, they think you'll come crawling back and they're your only choice. B, they don't care. Or C, maybe they think you were trying to use your 2 weeks as a bargaining chip to get a stake, and they showed that they weren't budging on the decision. To which OP responds, when I put in my 2 weeks notice, they did offer me a small salary bump, but that honestly felt more like an insult. Yeah. I'm going to give you a whopping 0.1% raise. What do you say, pal?
Did you like that?
No.
I can give you a cent. Every year, you get 1 more cent.
You know what? I'm going to increase that. I'm going to double that offer. 2 cents.
2 cents.
I'm
Every
doubling
year,
it.
you're going to get 2 more cents. How does that sound? Deal?
Johnson?
Johnson?
Is that good work, Johnson? Not good work.
No.
Commenter number 6 says, info, I'm guessing the guy has the choice of hiring you or your dad's company, in which case, of course, he came to you. He's saving money buying your work directly. Make sure you're actually getting paid what you're worth. They're definitely paying you less than they paid your dad. That's why they're hiring you directly. Do you know how much your dad was charging them? Hopefully it's reasonably close to what you're getting. And Opie says the pay is significantly less than what my dad charges, but considering I'm not going to be paying for any of the business expenses or equipment like my dad does, the pay is very generous. Yeah, again, like, I feel like it could be, it's like, okay, maybe it's not as much as the dad would make, but if Opie's still getting better than the high end of his salary and all these things.
Yeah. I mean, it's like in the long term, better for your career, I think.
Yeah.
To go with,
somewhere where they appreciate you.
Yeah. Like, why would you want all that money if you just having people who like don't think that you're capable?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the other thing is like, do you just want to keep working and being like, okay, brother's getting everything, I'm getting nothing, I'm not appreciated, and over here they're like, dude, you're freaking awesome.
Yeah.
What else can we do for you?
Exactly.
Go for the vibes. Go for the vibes. But we have got an update.
Woo-wee.
A little more than 1 month later.
Okay, so OP should be working at this other company now.
Let's see. So it's been a while since my first post, and things have been settled.
Oh.
I felt like a good amount of you said it was okay to take the job. There were a few that said that I should give my dad and brother a heads up that this was all happening before I accepted a job so as not to blindside them. Quick poll.
Yes.
Heads up or not? Do we give the dad and brother heads up or not? Quick take, Sophia. She's thinking.
I don't know.
She's thinking.
I think they'll find out eventually.
Yeah. Even I don't know if they quote unquote deserve it.
Yeah.
But I do. If your relationship, like family wise, is good outside of that, I think it's good.
Yeah. I would say if you have a good relationship with them outside, yeah, sure.
But if they just freaking suck all around,
yeah, then no.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not. So that's what I did the day after I made my original post. The talk itself didn't go so smoothly, though. They got pretty angry. My dad said this was the reason why it would have been bad to give me part of the business because I'm selfish and only think of myself when he's trying to keep over a dozen people employed.
Well, perfect. You don't have me anymore. You don't have to worry about me.
Yep. There you go.
I'm working somewhere else now. Good.
Yep. And you're not selfish for giving it all to the brother or anything?
Interesting.
Ever heard of a mirror? My brother said I was basically betraying the family because I didn't get something that I didn't really deserve from them. Ouch. I didn't exactly want to stay around them anymore after that, so I just walked out early that day and decided not to finish the rest of the week that I was going to. Later, I called to formally accept the job. The equipment we ordered only came in last week, so I was basically just been paid to stay at home and do nothing for the first few weeks.
Nice.
Paid time off for a few weeks.
They already appreciate you more.
They already
Look
do.
at that.
Yeah, man, look at that. It was actually nice to have a break from everything before diving into work again. It's been pretty great at the new place, though. My new workspace is a lot different, nicer from my dad's shop. It's wide and open. It has air conditioning, assigned parking, so no more fighting for a spot on the street. The office they gave me isn't huge, but it's also nice. Like I said in my previous post, I don't have much use for an office, but it's still nice to have a private place to myself, especially one with a mini fridge.
Heck yeah.
You can stock it with all your favorite snacks. Overall, I definitely feel much more appreciated here than I ever felt working for my dad. By the way, if your dad doesn't appreciate you, or if you just want to listen to an entertaining show, either or, I would go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, and search OK Storytime and listen to all 2,500 of our episodes. Guys, you will literally never run out of content to do while you're doing the dishes or like homework or whatever. Anything.
Anything your heart desires can be yours if you listen to our show.
That's right. Opie says, speaking of which, I haven't talked to my dad or brother since, and I don't think I will.
Whoa.
Going no contact, which leads me to my next poll, no contact or not.
I mean, if they're going to treat you like this, it's not great. I think it could be like limited contact, and if they continue to be like, you're destroying the family, and it's like, okay, bye.
I like that.
Yeah.
I had heard from Jared that right after I had left after talking to them about the job, they had called my new boss and tried to deter him from hiring me.
Ooh. See, yeah, at that point, I'd be like, I don't want to contact people that are actively trying to get sabotage my job opportunities.
Let me get the bag, Dad.
Bye.
Come on.
I'm not contacting.
I also heard from a cousin that my dad's business isn't doing so well right now, and they had to let some people go and are downsizing. Some of the other clients had shut down their business due to COVID, so that combined with losing another big client permanently hit them hard.
So maybe you left at a good time.
Right? Also, if they had appreciated OP, none of at least OP stuff wouldn't have happened.
Exactly. Exactly.
You could have.
Sucks to suck.
I have to imagine they would have come out money ahead, giving OP everything he wanted and keeping the client.
I absolutely agree.
I have to imagine.
I absolutely agree.
But I'm also not imagining some relevant comments from commenter number 1. Congrats on the new job. It's bad business to rely so heavily on a single client, vendor / product. That is your dad and brother's fault. Calling your new boss to badmouth you reflects very poorly on them. I doubt Jared is going to recommend them to anyone who needs the service they offer after that. Another good point.
So, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
they just keep digging their own grave.
They're making it worse for themselves.
My goodness. Enjoy your new office with a mini fridge. Me jealous.
Ooh.
OP says, lol, the mini fridge is honestly one of my favorite things about the new place. Commenter number 2 says, in the original post, you said you'd be able to hire a couple of people to work under you. Any chance you can hire 2 people that were laid off from the family business? OP says, I actually already hired people before I found about the layoff.
Okay. Too late.
Timing.
Dang.
It happens. It happens. Commenter number 3 says, my dad said this was a reason why it would have been bad to give me part of the business because I'm selfish and only think about myself when he's trying to keep over a dozen people employed. My brother said I was basically betraying the family because I didn't get something that I didn't really deserve from them. They're mixing up cause and effect. Business partners are responsible for looking out for the well-being of the business. Employees are responsible for doing a job in return for money. Your father and brother made a decision that you're an employee instead of a business partner. That is so true.
So true.
And now they're mad at you for acting like an employee instead of a business partner. If they actually wanted you to act in the best interest of the business instead of seeking the highest pay and best working conditions for the job you are paid to do, then they should have cut you in as a part owner so that way it would actually be one of your responsibilities. That is
great points,
excellent
commenter.
point. It's if you're being treated like an employee, it's like, well, let me behave.
Why does it why does it matter if I leave?
Yeah. Why does it matter?
How is it my fault
if
that your business is declining?
Yeah, an employee would be like, hey, let me go where I'm most appreciated, can get the best salary and all those things for myself.
Maybe if I had a say in the business, I could have helped you, but I didn't. Sorry.
Come on. Commenter number 4 says, it's unfortunate that your dad and brother didn't consider the potential consequences of their decision. I'm sorry they have chosen to make this all your fault, blaming you for looking after yourself and your own future. I wish you the best of luck in the new job and hope that your family will eventually be able to mend things.
I think that at this point, they have tried to get you fired from your new job. They have told you that you broke the family apart. I mean, until they are ready to apologize and recognize that you did nothing wrong and they didn't appreciate you and you found a new job, then there's no point in like trying to have a conversation with them because they're just going to yell at you.
Yeah. These are good points. I think maybe because I'm just a big old Mr. Softy, like the ice cream, I would have them on very limited contact. Mm-hmm. But
I just the thing is that like
they've dropped the ball.
Yeah, like trying to sabotage his job is pretty awful.
Of your own son, don't you
want
want?
Your own son.
Like I could see him being like, look, I'm not gonna lie, this really sucks and kind of hurts that we're losing his business. However, because I'm your father and I love you, I'm so glad that you have this good situation. Yeah, they treated him not just like an employee, but like as a poorly treated him as an employee.
That'd be like if Keon was leaving the company to go work for another YouTube channel.
Yes.
And then we went to that YouTube channel and we're like, Keon sucks. He's terrible.
Yeah,
Don't
he sucks.
hire him.
I would have to say a lie like he's not the sexiest man I've ever met.
He's he's not.
He's so unsexy.
He's not.
His cakes won't help
his butt's tiny.
His butt is tiny.
He's got a tiny little flat butt.
I would have to go and say lies. Like
Paper butt.
Oh, but that's the end of the story, ladies and gentlemen.
But
there's more.
There's more.
I see what you did there.
There's
more stories.
There's more. And we're going to get into them.
So let's do it.
I lost everything in a house fire, and my best friend doesn't even seem to care.
How you get it all back?
My ex-best friend, female 25, we'll call her Chloe, and I, female 24, met in the 6th grade when I moved to a new school.
Oh,
She was my next door neighbor, and we walked the same route home from school every day.
cute.
It was a small town, and there was only one 6th grade class, which we were both in. So naturally, as the year went on, we started talking on the way home from school and became good friends.
Beautiful.
By the way, this comes from user Kajit Kasha on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, being next door neighbors and best friends was like any kid's dream. We hung out every single day and were basically like siblings, with one of us sleeping or eating at the other's house basically every night, and we always worked the same jobs. We were together 24/7 all the way through school until graduation and on. So this is like
Wow.
lifetime best friend.
Let's go.
Starting in 6th grade, that is a true bestie. We both had kids our senior year. I ended up having a small wedding with my child's father immediately after graduation, but Chloe and her boyfriend split up. Shortly after having her child, Chloe met someone while at work. We were all still working together in a kitchen, my husband included, and they began to form a relationship. We'll call him Austin. He was a couple years older than us and was an overall great guy. We would all hang out outside of work, and we got along great.
Nice. Sounds like us.
Yeah, it sounds like we're all getting, all of us are getting married and having children.
Yeah, cute.
Fast forward a couple years, myself and my husband get divorced in May of 2020 because he cheated.
Oof.
And Chloe and her husband moved to the next state over. We're in the Midwest, so long drives aren't super uncommon, but the time we spend together still obviously decreased significantly. We would talk a few times a week about everything going on in our lives. My husband and I had another child before the divorce, so I was a single mom of 2.
Dang.
And Chloe and her boyfriend had another 2 children together, and were now parents of 3 when they got engaged.
Wow.
You guys are busy.
Got lots of children.
Busy. Chloe planned a bachelorette/birthday party to Nashville in November of 2021.
Ooh.
I woke up to my bedroom being on fire in the middle of the night on August 8th of 2021.
Oh.
Wow, that's terrifying.
That is terrifying. Oh my God.
I was able to get myself, my 2 children, our dog, and our 3 cats outside while the fire grew, but I was unable to save a single one of our belongings, not even my phone. I was left in nothing but a pair of sweatpants, no shoes, and both of my children were in a diaper. I had many pressing calls to make and things to handle after recovering from the shock of losing everything in the following days. One of which was to call Chloe and inform her that unfortunately I wouldn't be able to make it to the bachelorette party or contribute my portion of the cost of the trip, which was around $800, not including food, drinks, etc. It was a weekend trip with each person paying for a portion of the Airbnb and excursions covering Chloe's costs.
Dang.
And also that my bridesmaid's dress that I had paid for, she picked it, was lost in the fire as well.
Oh no.
Wow, just
Oh,
life completely flipped upside down
dang.
overnight. My heart goes out to you. That is a
That's
lot
tough.
to deal with. I was supposed to be the maid of honor, and Chloe had been the maid of honor in my wedding as well. When I told her, she immediately got pissed and started being short with me on the phone. I told her I could buy another cheaper dress, but couldn't afford to replace the one I had already bought, as it was around $300. I also offered to rent a pantsuit type of outfit and get her preferred color shirt, tie, vest. I gave her options. She instead said that she no longer wanted me to be in the wedding party, that she was tired of always, quote, being there for me, and I have too much drama.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yo,
Whoa.
this friend ain't no friend.
Yeah. Goodbye. Find another bridesmaid.
Wow.
Maid of honor.
Can you imagine having that little sympathy?
All they do is like their house like your house burns to the ground. You know, like, you're just too dramatic.
Yeah, this is supposed to be your
Come
maid of
on.
honor. It felt like a huge slap in the face, but I was still invited to the wedding. I decided to go because I didn't want to ruin her day or bring any more drama, but that was definitely the wrong choice. I went with the pantsuit type option with no jacket. It was a very casual wedding, so I wore slacks and a nice pink shirt that was similar to the original color of my dress and had a white lacy detailing. I sat in an upper balcony area. There were probably about 15 or 20 extended family members and such up there overlooking the whole wedding, and tried to smile through speeches and proceedings that I felt I should have been a part of, but ended up becoming pretty overcome with emotion. I didn't want to cry in the wedding and decided to step quietly out of the back door and walk around the venue. It was a beautiful ranch property with trails, horses, and ponds, all that good stuff. I waited it out for pictures and the reception. After a while, I saw a few guests coming out and walked up to find other wedding party members and the bride for pictures. I found them and talked with them, told Chloe, congratulations, you look beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I started walking with them while smiling and conversing over to the area where all the pictures are going to be taken during the reception when I'm tapped on the arm by the photographer. The photographer pulls me to the side and informs me that the bride had asked that I not be included in any of the photos.
Oh,
What is...
damn.
She's acting like she set her own house on fire to get out of going to the wedding.
Yeah, of course I wanted to set my own house on fire. What?
Why is she taking this personally?
This is crazy.
It's definitely a personal move to not include her in the wedding photos.
Yeah.
But I'll always include all of y'all every time we go live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch every weekday at 3 p.m.
Just tap her profile.
Just tap it. So I guess let's discuss where we're at. Clearly,
Not a good friend.
OP shouldn't have even been at the wedding in the first place after the... she was right in calling it a huge slap in the face.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, she was just like, I'm so sick of having to be there for you for all your drama. It's like, hello? She just literally went superhero mode and saved her kids and her pets from a house fire and lost all of her earthly possessions.
Weird.
And now you want to be like, great, now she's going out of her way to ruin my wedding. Come on.
Come on.
She wanted to be there for you. At least let her be in the pictures, you monster.
Yeah, come on.
Ugh. After putting my own emotions to the side for the entire day and really for months leading up to the wedding because of Chloe's mistreatment towards me when I've been family to her for almost half of our lives, I had had enough. I turned to Chloe and honestly yelled a little bit that it was BS that she couldn't tell me herself because she knew it was a crappy move. I said many things that had bothered me about her over the years and how she's always made me feel less than, putting me down and just outright bullying me. I left the wedding. I drove 10 hours home and I haven't talked to her since. Her and her husband have sent me a couple friend requests. I deleted them and blocked them both because I simply don't want her in my life, but I always just ignore them. I think about her quite frequently. It feels like I lost a sibling or someone important to me passed away. Would you try to repair this relationship? Honestly, you've had that friend for a long time. I don't think that there's any way to repair the relationship unless she comes to you with a very detailed and heartfelt apology.
Yeah.
She needs to understand.
I've seen a lot of friendships break over for much less, too. This person had no sympathy for you. Nah, it's said and done.
The response being like, ugh, you lost everything in the house fire. You know what? You're just so dramatic. I'm taking you out of the wedding party. It's just too much. I can't. It's my wedding. I can't.
Yeah, that was not your consequence to bear.
Definitely not the first time that Chloe had disrespected OP in a way like that.
I think as this person is going to reflect, they'll realize a lot more red flags. Oh, no.
I think it's completely up to you, OP. I don't think you need to take any proactive steps to repair it. I think all of that lies on Chloe. Yep. Chloe needs to come to you on her own and profusely apologize. And I don't think that's going to happen.
Nah.
So you're better off without her.
Boom, boom, boom.
My ungrateful friend is financially irresponsible, so it's time for her to get out.
Get her out of here.
Get out of here.
You can't come around these
You're
parts.
too irresponsible for these parts. I'm having difficulties right now with how I'm going to deal with my friend. We're college students right now and in our third year. I used to stay in school dormitory and I had to live with 6 other people whilst my friend has had her own apartment living alone since our day 1 of college. By the way, this comes from user deleted on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So it took 1 year for my parents to let me live alone in my apartment, which I'm staying in right now, because they keep saying that I should have a taste of being out of my comfort zone. And in the real world, I should really learn to socialize with other people. I did learn a lot of lessons, including saving money and narrowing my expenses to needs only, and set aside my wants as I could only afford so little. I could say that I came from a wealthy family. as we almost never had financial problems, and we are always traveling. But my parents never really spoiled me with money, and I can only get what I want if I ask them, and there's always something I should give in exchange, either good behavior, school achievements, or just really being responsible. Now that I have my own apartment, my friend asked me if she could stay with me, as she couldn't afford her apartment anymore. Oh no. I just recently found out that she hadn't paid her rent for months and the landlady is kicking her out. She told me about her family's financial problems, about how her father can't work anymore due to old age. Her father's a 66-year-old dentist and they haven't had income for months. I don't know exactly how long. She had work in summer, but soon quit because she complains about how hard it is and how little they pay her. Hey, welcome to the workforce. And now they have nothing. And no one in their family wants to work for their family's needs either. I understand that she doesn't want to work, but does she really have a choice? Does she prefer lying in bed all day to work, especially when she needs it now the most? She's the oldest and has 2 more younger siblings, so she doesn't really have anyone to rely on. I personally think that her parents have such bad decisions and have poor money management, but that's another story.
Damn.
Despite all of that, she kept saying that she wanted to finish college and still wants to continue. However, her things, including her uniform and other school stuff, has been locked up in her apartment, and the landlady wasn't letting her get her things or even enter her room unless she pays her balance, which I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
I think that is illegal.
Our other friends offered her a super cheap pre-loved uniform that she could use so she can still go to school. And she asked me if she could stay in my apartment just so she can have a place to stay while she's figuring out how she would pay her former apartment balance. I have a 2-room apartment and each room is good for 2 people. Just enough for 4 people, and it's pretty big for someone living alone, so I agreed. But I had a second thought after I told this to my father, and he warned me about the possibility that she might not be able to pay her share of the rent, as I am also just now budgeting my expenses.
Well, it seems like she can't pay any of the rent.
Yeah.
She hasn't been paying rent for months.
You tell your dad, like, my friend who can't pay rent's going to move in. He's like, you might want to be careful. She's probably not going to pay
the rent.
Although my parents give me monthly money, including my rent money, her usage of my room still deducts to my budget. Well, I mean, if your parents are paying your rent, I don't know if you can really talk about, like, she's messing up your budget.
She's like, it's my budget.
She's really messing up your parents' budget.
Yeah.
I suggest to her that she invite one more person to share the room so they could split rent and pay cheaper, as I would pay much more because I took the other whole room for myself. But she kept insisting that she's not used to such uncomfortable living and wanted the room all for herself. So I adjusted again and said that I'll just invite another person in my room just so I'll be the one who will pay cheaper and hopefully have extra money to afford her expenses if she can't afford it again. Because it's not my landlady's problem if we can't pay rent in time, and I don't expect them to understand our situation.
Wait, I'm sorry. OP was like, hey, maybe you could get a roommate. And she's like, no, I don't want one. OP's like, okay, I guess I could get a roommate. Why are you letting your friend walk all over you?
Yeah, like truly doormat type scenario.
Too bad.
Here.
You don't want to have a roommate? You can't afford to live in the apartment.
I didn't mind it that I now have another person sharing the room with me because it's also our friend and is very considerate and kind. Cool. Move in with your cool friend.
Yeah.
However, it just annoys me that she doesn't want to adjust or even help herself, knowing that her situation can't afford the comfort that she wants. What's worse is I remember that she asked her parents for an AC to our old apartment, and I admit that it's hot because we live in a tropical country, but shouldn't she set aside those luxuries and prioritize her needs first?
Probably. Sometimes you gotta live in a hot apartment as a college student.
Yep. Even I was too shy to ask my parents for such things, as it's expensive, and the electricity bill will be even much more expensive. I've told about this to my parents, thinking that they should know because they're the ones giving me my allowance that I use for rent and other needs. If ever, they will be the one paying for my friend's rent expenses that we assume wouldn't be able to pay monthly rent because I see that she wasn't willing to adjust or even just try it. My parents are generous people but hate tolerating. They were willing to help my friend, and better, they would pay for her school expenses if only she was willing to try to adjust her luxurious wants. They said they don't want to help people, especially young adults who are mature enough to understand the situation, don't know what to prioritize because tolerating it would just make it worse when they grow older and have no one to lean on but themselves. My parents said such people wouldn't learn their lesson if they know what to do but refuse to do it just because it's out of their comfort zone. I get their point, but at the same time, I really want to help my friend. But it's not my decision to do so. I am still just a student. I keep trying to tell my friend to choose cheaper options because her budget will never be enough if she couldn't give up simple things. You don't have to help this friend, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
unfortunately,
you want to help her, but you don't have to.
Yeah, she's not
she's-
listening. She's not willing to give up anything, that's just on her. It seems like maybe she was in like a really rich or well-off family, and then they had some money issues.
Yeah.
Dad couldn't work anymore, and then it was like a big switch, and so she hasn't adjusted to that.
Now, I am kicking her out. Oh, well, would you look at that?
Yes.
Thinking it will be better for both of us because I don't want our friendship to end because of money and delayed payments and an issue with my landlady. Right now, she has no place to stay, but I know she can do something about it. She can choose cheaper options, or she can even try to stay in our school dormitory. It is like 90% cheaper. She just needs to live with about 5 or 6 more people. I could say that it's not that bad because I was able to stay there for a year. It has its own pros and cons, but still, it's livable. I feel bad because despite not knowing her priorities, she's been a good friend to me and never really had an issue with our friendship. So am I the a-hole for kicking her out?
No, she was trying to take advantage of you.
Yeah, she's literally just trying to coast.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
just trying to float on your good
Yeah.
graces.
She doesn't want to work. That's on her.
Update. Our other friends are telling me that it's not time for life lessons and I should just let her stay for a while. Actually, college is the perfect time for life lessons, you goobers.
Yeah.
While I feel guilty, sad, and nervous, I think I'm going to throw up. I don't know if I should let her stay longer because I don't trust her about getting her crap together and I see her as financially irresponsible. I don't want things to get worse and my friends tried to propose different solutions, either look for a job or stay with their apartment because theirs are cheaper. But she refused, saying that the job is too hard and she won't be able to study properly. She also said that she prefers my apartment because only I have separate rooms. We couldn't tell her to do more or try harder because she keeps saying that doing those makes her depressed, reminding us about her family problems. She wants privacy, can't do study and school at the same time. She even told us that if there's no one to help her, she'll quit school.
Ugh. If you're depressed, you don't have to go to college, but don't use that as a way for someone else to pay for you.
I couldn't say no to her sometimes because it will look like I'm not willing to help her even if I can. This made me and my other friends even more guilty and
She's
speechless.
guilt tripping you. She's literally
Yeah,
guilt
she's just
tripping
guilt tripping you, dog. And there's another update. Let's just jump right in. I think this will be my last update. It all happened yesterday, and I wrote this at around midnight. I couldn't sleep. That's why I vented here. Thank you all for opening my effing blind eyes. She's getting her things today and moving out. Somehow her parents were able to borrow money to pay her debts. My last straw was when she talked about my rescued cats. I have rescued cats living with me in my apartment, but my cats and I are in my hometown right now, and she's the only one there to get her things. I hope she won't do anything stupid. And when she said, "How are you able to help these cats but not me?"
Oh my God.
I don't.
What is this? Those are her cats.
How are you
What?
helping your cats, but you're not helping
Your
me?
friend.
'Cause
Because
my
you're
cats
not my
can't get a
responsibility.
job, goofy. What?
Also-
my cats can't get income.
Also, even if she was like, oh, well, it's your parents' money. It's like not, yeah, you're not their kid. Like, OP may not have to necessarily, I think she is working, but, she may not have to work for her money. She might have parents who do it, but that, like, you don't. So figure it out. You have to go work for your income and stuff. You have to go,
Comparison
like,
is
that's
the
not her
thief of
fault.
joy, folks. I don't know what she wants to happen with that question. I just told her that she needs to move out. I didn't tell her that I doubt her financial management, so maybe she doesn't exactly know why I'm kicking her out. But a little girl told me I'm so lucky to have such a life, and I would never understand her because I never worked like she did. Girl, you're not working.
You're literally, we've
You're
already
not working,
established
right?
that you're not working.
We've fully established that you are unemployed and
Yeah.
intend to stay that way.
Yeah, and your parents are paying for borrowed money to pay for
What
you.
did you do? Though I only help with my family's business and private tutoring a kid, and that's the closest thing I consider work, she decided to go back to her apartment, and I don't know if she will be able to maintain it. By the way, we want to maintain you guys joining us live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Tap it.
Tap it until you're in the live, and then you're here with us.
Freaking here.
And everything's perfect. Honestly, I think, she got to the finish line here. She kicked her friend out.
Yeah.
That's what you had to do.
That's all you had to do. You're not the a-hole.
Yeah.
Your friend is the a-hole.
And it doesn't matter if you don't need to have a job. Your friend is entitled.
Your friend has to have a job.
Way entitled. As for our other friends, they don't blame me, but at the same time, they don't want to blame my friend either because they think it'll just make it worse. Oh yeah, the friendship dynamics are all
Why
gonna
are
get
they friends with
goofed
this
up
girl?
here.
She sucks.
Yeah, you don't need her as a friend. She's
Drop
entitled
her.
and lame. For real.
Drop her.
I don't know if they're talking behind my back. We all didn't really show anger to each other, and we've all been talking in a calm way. They said that they understand that I want my own privacy too, and I have the right who I invite to my place. On the other hand, I think they're also enabling my friend's mindset by saying it's also understandable that you want comfort. Everyone wants that. But I think they just don't want to make everything worse. Yeah, they're just trying to keep the peace. I think there will always be a silent conflict between all of us. Moving forward, there probably will.
Yeah.
Because if she's like, you know,
She's entitled.
speaking venom on you, like behind your
I
back.
hope he wouldn't let me move in
Yeah,
and
she's super
pay for
entitled.
me.
Like, why don't your friends do that then?
And, you know, the friends are like, oh, babe, it's understandable. Like,
Yeah.
of course you want to be comfy. Everyone wants to be comfy. It's
Everyone
like,
wants
you're
to be
also in the
comfy.
right. It's like
some
no,
people-
you're not. You
Stop.
want to get comfy? Get a job.
Get a job. Get a
Pay
job.
for that comfort.
Work
girl.
for that comfort.
Work that comfort.
My partner and I bought a house, but I'm expected to pay back the loan.
Yeah, you bought the house.
Yeah, like, makes sense.
You, not us, you.
I am more than expecting 99% of these comments to be, this is why you shouldn't buy a house with someone before you are married. I deserve them. However, I really would like an outsider's perspective on this as well. I think I'm going crazy over this and have never experienced something so hard. By the way, this comes from House Regret. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I have been with my boyfriend for 2 years. We've lived together for 1. We have just purchased a home together. Cooling off period has passed and we're just waiting for the settlement. The scenario that I'm in, his family offered a lot of money for a deposit, and so we had a really good head start. Our loan was lower and our interest was therefore lower. In no way do I think that money is mine. It is his. And we discussed that if we were to break up and sell the house, he would get his percentage straight back. It wouldn't be owned 50-50. It would be skewed to what I could deposit and what was deposited. We were going to draw up a contract in the event that this happened. What ended up happening after the cooling off period was that his dad sent through spreadsheets showing what my repayments would be and what his would be, given the difference in deposits. I was paying at least 3 times as much, and this blindsided me. This is an email I have sent him explaining why I'm so upset. I hope that helps to show where my mindset is at. I feel hurt because I feel blindsided, taken advantage of, and like you don't care about me in this situation or me in this relationship / us as a couple. I feel blindsided because there are 4 things that were misleading. 1, when I sent through our budget on what we would be paying should we move forward, they were equal amounts. You did not say anything except for the fact that we both agreed that it was within our budgets. 2, when you said that you wanted to discuss this further with me, I told you to present something. I told you to talk to your dad, give me something to review, and we will chat about it because we didn't have anything to discuss without this information. You never did that. 3, when you said you wanted to discuss further again, I mentioned that I was stressed with what I was doing to set it all up, and if it's just about how we split the ownership of the house if we were to break up, then surely that can happen when everything has settled in a couple of weeks. You agreed and said it was fine. 4, when we actually applied for and got the loan. A loan is a debt to the bank that we are both responsible for equally. If we default on the loan, they come after both of us, not me for 70% and you for 30%. All these things, in addition to the discussion that we did actually have, led me to believe that we needed to put an agreement in place for a situation that would only occur in the event that we break up. Not that we would split the payments to $71 a week from you and $226 a week from me. Even if you wanted to discuss these figures and alter them, that was not what was implied to me. You did not tell me. And similarly, if your dad had it in his mind that this was going to happen, I feel that someone should have told me this was the case, and I would have never gone ahead with it. I even sent your dad the budget too, and if he had an issue with it, it should have been clarified then and there. The reason I feel taken advantage of is because you have a loan with your dad that is interest-free. You may not even pay it back. You said you will try.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll try to pay back.
Try to pay back to my dad.
That's my red flag right there.
Yeah, right? I feel like if the dad is giving out this money and then charging OP for all this money, I feel like...
Oh, yeah, the boyfriend has no idea what the weight he just got. Like,
oh, yeah.
like, he doesn't understand the weight of any of this.
Yeah. And the dad might eventually just be like, don't worry about it. You don't have to pay me back. So...
I mean, good for them if that's their case, but this is weird.
It's
this
unfair.
Is really weird.
For sure. You have altered the repayments in a way that I am paying off the amount of money loaned by your dad plus interest, and you benefit by getting a lower repayment, which I, again, am covering the difference. I am actually offended by this. The reason I think you don't care about me is because honestly, the way this was all gone about was awful. Similarly, you cannot understand why I am upset. You tell me, do you really think that I would just hand you half of my money? That's one of the most awful things that you could say. It shows greed and selfishness because of course I would not want half of your money. If we were to split, you would get your fair amount, so I wouldn't be taking a cent of it. We are a couple. We are growing a life together. Everything about this scenario shows you exhibit no empathy towards me or faith in our relationship lasting or interest in working together as a couple. Wow.
Wait,
shots
there's
fired.
still a couple?
There's still a couple. I think maybe it's not going to last very long after
I
this.
thought in the beginning they broke up.
No. So this is all, they have been together for a couple years, lived together for one.
Decided to get a house.
Now they're getting a house. And so this is all discussion
This is all the
about
things
like
happening.
if they were to break up, what would happen to the house.
Interesting.
That's the discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just wondering how different this would go if it was in person rather than a conversation over
email and everything. Yeah.
Like you could type it out, read it in
Yeah.
front of the person maybe.
Also, let's say we get a house
Mm-hmm.
and my parents put down a loan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or vice versa, your parents put down the loan. Whoever's parents put down the loan, I'm probably thinking the other half would sell their part of the house to them back.
To the parents or to
Yeah.
like,
So if
to
we
the-
got a house, we broke up,
Yeah.
then I would probably be like, I'll buy your share.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I would understand that. Like whoever wants the house would just buy
Yeah,
it.
not like, oh, this is how the split things are going to work because you guys are broken up and you're still going to live together.
Very complicated situation. I'm just scared of what the reaction is going to be after this email.
Yeah, seems like a little bit of a scam.
But there is a little bit more to the email. So please also consider if this situation was reversed and if it was my mom who put in a significant amount. I would not do this to you and neither would mom. Points to mention, I know for a fact that if the situation was reversed, my mom would not present him with a spreadsheet. We rent a house from her at a significantly lower rate than what it would be, and we both get that discount. She hasn't skewed it, so I pay less and he pays more. We share it equally. We have had a conversation after this email, and he basically said that he wants to treat this as a business venture. We have been together for 2 years, so he is not sure about me. I said we are building life together. I am blindsided by this, and you would get all your money back if we broke up. I don't see why we can't stick to the original agreement. He said that we really didn't discuss it properly, and that was always his intention. His intention was to buy half a house each. I wanted to buy a home and build it together, and if worse came to worse, he'd be protected. Am I being ridiculous? Edit. Thank you all so much for the feedback. I did comment this when I was sorting everything out this afternoon, but I have asked his parents to reduce what they are putting in, and my mom has done everything that she can do to access the funds to match. She is awesome. It's now even. Funds are sorted. In relation to what is going to happen with us as a couple, I don't know. He is spending the weekend with his parents, so I can try not to use emotions as strongly as I am now. I am not sure that I can get over this. He is going to counseling with me, and I hope that that will help. I am willing to try. If not, the house can go back on the market, or one of us can buy the other out. I have dedicated another 6 months of my life to sort this out, as the location in the house that we snagged was awesome, so we should be able to walk away, if not in the exact same scenario we went in with, or better. I do not know what will happen with our families. My mom is disgusted. His parents think I'm flaky, and they're hurt. He said this weekend that he wanted to post his version after reading these replies, and he feels that he came across as a villain. I don't know how it will differ. I really think I was as objective as I could be, especially including verbatim what my email concerns were. But I will link it here when he does. Thank you for helping me and giving me an outlet. I have obviously told my mom, but am too embarrassed to talk to friends right now. I do appreciate even the people that told me that I'm being ridiculous by getting upset. Oh, and we do have an update.
I'm a little worried about bro going to his parents' house for the weekend. I'm going to clear my
Yeah.
head out, go to my parents, and figure this out myself.
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's like a clear sign that there's a breakup coming, but I will say that in a lot of stories we've read, usually people don't go to the parents' house unless someone like cheated or something like that. Not saying cheating's happening,
Yeah.
but it's just the fact it's usually like there's a problem, we're not doing well, I need space.
Yeah. And that's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact the quarrel is happening
Yeah.
with the parents and him. So he's definitely not going to be, whatever I think is going to happen. No, it's going to be whatever the parents think is going to happen.
But we do have an update. So I really wanted to say such a sincere thank you for the support. I really had broken when I posted it. I do feel better, and I am proceeding with the $50K each option. I have gotten less upset at my significant other, and I do see that there was a lot of miscommunication on both sides. He saw it as we are buying half of a house each, and I saw it as we are buying a home together. I would have never proceeded had I known the intention. However, this is that situation that I am in now, and I am going to see what happens. He also posted his side, which I'm not sure if many of you have seen, but he doesn't use Reddit or know that he should have linked it, etc. He got a lot of hate, so he deleted the body of the thread. He is still adamant that he was just trying to be as fair as possible. We both buy half of a house. As for an update, it's not really so much what I have done since the update, but what my next step is. So far, my significant other is still at his parents'. I have seen him once since posting, and I was too mad to talk about anything properly or thoroughly. I am too mad at his dad because he thinks that the whole reason that I'm upset about this is financial naivety. That is completely offensive to me. I am planning to message my significant other, we haven't talked that much, to arrange a sit down with both his parents, and I will focus more on why this is a poor business deal since I don't believe that they will understand the emotional side. This is my course of action, and I would love any amendments or suggestions. This is quite nerve-wracking. I want to sit down and say something along the lines of these dot points. I am offended that you think that I'm upset because of financial naivety. I understand the numbers and I agree with them. If I were to buy a house with a friend or an investor, I would suggest the exact same thing, but not someone I am in a romantic relationship with and plan to build a life with. I don't understand why you think that way. Because I feel like if I was buying a house with someone in a romantic way, I don't think that would be different from like a friend or something. Maybe you could talk about it differently because you have different conversations in a romantic relationship, but I feel like the numbers would have to be the same, you know?
Yeah.
Because you really do have to think like, well, what if everything just like went down the drain? What if everything just blew up for some reason, you know? Not thinking that that would happen, but expecting or preparing for it anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I didn't understand I was going to be treated like a business. Since this was a business transaction, I think it was poorly executed. I said, I'm going to try to pay off as much as our mortgage as I can so we can pay it off sooner and pay less in the long run. Significant other's name. Boyfriend's response to this spreadsheet presented to me, well, you were always going to pay more. You said that. This is just set out in a weekly payment structure, which just makes more sense. Well, it is not the same as what I said because with me paying more, the way you have presented it doesn't pay off the mortgage sooner. I was misled. I also said, if this is just about what happens when we break up and split the house, then why can't we do it after the dust had settled? Boyfriend was always going to have more equity in the house. Similarly, boyfriend said that he wanted us to all sit down and talk about this, and my unwillingness to do so is what caused this confusion. However, I sent the dad our fortnightly budget, the stamp duty costs prior to signing for the loan, a spreadsheet comparing the different interest rates. Plus, I was at every family tea. This occurs every Wednesday. They are British, just by the way, for this whole process. And even so, there was nothing stopping you sending this through earlier, picking up the phone or emailing me since it was always your intention. If you wanted it to be a business transaction, I was unaware that it was, you should have presented the terms and conditions to me prior to signing anything and I would have rejected your terms. We also got a joint loan. We are both in debt to the bank on that loan equally, which means that we would pay it back equally. If I had known that this was how you expected it to go, no way would I have gotten a joint loan. We should have gotten 2 separate loans. I can't believe that you allowed this to proceed knowing what you did. I never wanted a cent of your money. If we broke up, you would have gotten every cent back plus profit and interest. You would have more equity in the house. You would get more. You would not have gotten back exactly 100 $45,000 extra because I do understand the time value aspect of money. It's offensive to suggest that I don't. My boyfriend also said that it's concerning that I feel that I should benefit from this, and it's a gift to him, and that he's the one that benefits. That shows me how he feels about the relationship because I want him to benefit wherever we both can. My mom gave both of us discounted rent, and she did make him pay the market price. If the situation was reversed, I would never have gone about it this way. This has shaken our relationship to the core because we both clearly have different values. I want to be a team, and he wants us to be completely individual people that won't be a team until we're married. That's not the relationship I want to be in, and the relationship I want to be in, my boyfriend doesn't. I think it's a fantastic thing what you're doing to help boyfriend out, but to suggest that I'm upset because of financial naivety is just so ridiculous to me. This talk will hopefully happen on Thursday. I am a nervous wreck. My significant other will be there, as well as both of his parents. I need to show I will not be walked over. I need to also make it known that he is not controlling my life. I have no idea the outcome of this, but I'm hoping that I gain respect from this approach. I'm hoping that with his mom there, the most emotional out of the bunch, my side will get across. My mom has also asked me to organize his mom to meet with her on Saturday. And then I want to try and see my significant other on Sunday. I want to hug him. I want this to just be a blip in the road. Depending on how all this goes, I do this final sign off on Monday if I am happy and comfortable to move forward. Thank you so much for helping me get through the most difficult week of my life. I still don't sleep well and have cried a few times, but I honestly don't know what I would be doing if I didn't originally post here. I feel so much stronger and I am ready to stand up for myself this week. If anyone has any suggestions on my approach, I know this is more directed at the dad, but I really am at a loss as to how myself and significant other deal with this, so I haven't said much, and unfortunately am hoping that therapy will be the answer. I would love to hear it. And we do have an update. Do you think that she's going about this in a good way? Like all that stuff that she would say is good?
Yeah, because she's had a misunderstanding of how people were treated, and it doesn't seem like she's getting the same treatment.
Yeah.
Because family is involved on both sides. Whenever her family's involved, it was fair. Whenever his family's involved, it doesn't seem super fair.
Right. Exactly.
She's just speaking her mind, and this would shake me to my core. I'm a little disappointed in the boyfriend, thinking it's not a team effort, because, I mean, relationships are team effort. If you're looking to marry someone, and I don't even know if this guy wants to marry her.
He doesn't even know either. I mean, he said, like, this is a business venture because I'm not sure.
Yeah. I know someone that got a rental property with the boyfriend, and they broke up, and now they're, like, settling it, and it's, like, it seems pretty...
So messy. Like, I understand that, like, living together before getting married is a great way to go about things because, you know, living together is a big part of your relationship. And, like, that can say a lot about how you guys interact. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to move in with someone unless, like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to marry him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just, like, very big commitment. So I'm updating because I really appreciate all the advice. And I really mean that. I had a few people telling me that I wasn't listening to the overwhelming response not to go through with it, and whilst I agree that I looked really stupid, I wanted to try. I genuinely was taking everything on board together, whether I acted on it or it seemed like a disagreement. I just really wanted that to be known. This is exactly why I love this community. Anyway, on to the update. We went through with it. I am currently sitting in the lounge room of the new house. Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
That's not the update I was thinking we were going to get.
Oh, no. She was shaking to her core. She seems like a go with the flow type of chick. And this is something you should not go with the flow on.
Well, I just wonder, I mean...
She's trapped herself.
I want to know how that conversation went, and I think we're going to find out.
Okay, got it.
The quick rundown of what happened at dinner, where I confronted them. Basically, that's the main outcome of the dinner. So my significant other went to them too late for help, which in my opinion is still none of their business, but he did ask. He apologized for everything. We are still going to couples therapy at the start of January because clearly there's a miscommunication issue here, and I'm really excited to keep working on everything. So really, that's sorted. Apparently, they weren't trying to go behind my back with how they expected the money to be split. His dad only said that there needed to be a set of rules in place for people who are buying a house that weren't married. He didn't bring it up at the family weekly tea because he said that it wasn't his business. It was up to us to ask him for any advice that we wanted. I didn't want any, so it fell on my partner's head to ask if needed be. My significant other went to him after we signed a contract to ask for advice, and he came up with one scenario way too late in the game. I think that scenario that he came up with was unfair, which was paying different mortgage repayments. And after telling him, the dad, what I thought if we broke up, he would have more equity, he actually agreed that my way was fair, if not more. After this, my significant other and I had a big discussion where he profusely apologized, was embarrassed that I organized the gas, electricity, bank meetings, real estate, etc., and knew that it was all going to come to a head when I confronted his dad. I am not a wallflower. I hate confrontation, but I'm more than happy to do so if need be. And he was extremely anxious about it. He's an anxious person as it is. After talking to his dad more in depth, I understand his position a bit better and realized that my anger was misplaced and my significant other needs to be able to stand up to his parents better if need be. He needs to grow up and that he's getting much older and shouldn't really rely on them that much. He agrees and is ashamed. That is what we are working on now. By the way, you and I can make a little agreement here. You go to your favorite podcast app, whether it's Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever you choose. And then we give you more episodes with more stories just like this one. Okay? Does that sound like a deal? All you got to do is just search, okay, story time, right? Do we have a deal? Go over there. There is a little bit more to the story, but do we agree with the situation that's going on? Do we think that this is like a fair situation?
She confronted him.
Yeah.
Seems like the guy needs to like man up in a way, like adult up.
Yeah.
Instead of relying on his parents to pay his part and try to pay back. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like he's relying on the parents in a way, and the parent just a lot of miscommunication overall,
Yeah.
and maybe more conversations. I wouldn't feel satisfied with this.
Yeah, I feel like there's almost reasoning behind her decisions that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really understand. I don't think it was explained why she thinks that if they split up, he would get more money if they're paying evenly. I don't understand that. But everyone else is like, yeah, that's fair. So I feel like there's maybe something that I'm just missing, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Just gonna warn you. if we're paying evenly, we're gonna split it up evenly if need be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is confusing me. I don't understand this arrangement.
I don't really
I think
get
she's
that,
paying
but-
more because the parents already put a down payment, so they're like, oh, just pay us back for our part since.
Yeah, for like making that sacrifice or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, maybe. But there is a little bit more to the story. As much as everyone is going to tell me that this is a mistake, I just wanted to say that I'm happy I didn't give up. I'm in a great place. I have proven that I know what's right by telling his parents what I thought, which was in the last update. And his dad told me that he respected me more for being such a strong woman. I'm sure that people will still tell me what I'm doing is wrong, but I feel secure. I read some stories here that are clearly awful, and I think that a lot of the reason people post here are because they already know that they should end it. However, I still do get really excited when people work it out. I hope that I'm one of those cases. I'm so appreciative of all of the responses, and if there's any queries, I've unpacked all day, so I'm sitting here relaxing, and I want to thank you for your feedback. Apologies, this isn't the 99% of advice, but I still did take it on board and love this community more than ever. I hate that in the current climate, we are so spoilt for choice, and if you can easily find someone else if they don't suit you at the current time. That's the end of that story. It seems like it wrapped up well. OP's in a good space, so I'm happy for her.
Good for her.
I asked my boyfriend's friend to move out. It sent our relationship spiraling down. For background, I am a 27-year-old woman, my boyfriend 28 male, and I have lived together in our 2-bedroom house for about 2 years now. We live in a suburb outside a city in the US.
Niche city.
Niche. By the way, this comes from Throwaway. Hello, Reddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we met about 4.5 years ago when working at the same place and have been together for coming up on 4 years. That makes sense because you met. Yep. Okay.
We met 4 years ago, and we have been together 4 years for 4 years.
We had planned to get married last summer, 4 years after they met,
Oh.
but I had to cancel it due to the vid. We both have parents who have health conditions and wanted them to attend. We are both waiting for the vaccine to get more available to have our wedding, since a wedding is something we both want. My boyfriend has a friend who I'll call Bill, 28 male. Bill and my boyfriend have been friends since childhood and attended school together. As children, Bill and my boyfriend were very close and did many things together. As I understand it, Bill's family was pretty dysfunctional, so my boyfriend and his parents, late 50s, male and female, provided a lot of stability for him. Bill didn't go to college, and my boyfriend did, but they remain good friends as we all live in the same area. The entire time I've been with my boyfriend, he and Bill have been close, and I've gotten to know Bill. Before the vid, we would often go on double dates with Bill and Bill's girlfriend. This will become relevant later. But Bill's always had many girlfriends with the relationships never lasting very long. My boyfriend has implied to me that this stems from commitment issues from his childhood. But as someone who isn't by any means a psychologist, I can't speak to this. What is commitment issues from his childhood? Like his parents?
Hey, son, I'll take you to the football game later.
And he never came.
No football.
My dad has that.
Oh.
Oh.
You want to go to a football game, Riley?
My dad, not me.
Do you want to play catch, Riley?
I said, I'm good. He took care of me. His dad?
Oh, okay. I'll go ask your dad if he wants to go to a football
There we go.
I've always liked, well, you know what? Generational trauma. So maybe you feel the pain of your dad.
No, my dad was Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and then he treated me how Dr. Doofenshmirtz treats his daughter.
No, I'm just saying, like, maybe you have the memories.
I played catch with him.
Never mind. Never mind. I've always liked Bill. He's friendly, kind, and funny. He's always been a great friend to my boyfriend, and I've gotten to the point where I consider him a friend, albeit not as close as him and my boyfriend. In May 2020, Bill lost his job and was unable to pay his rent. At the time, he didn't have a partner, again, no stable girlfriends, and had no family to rely on. My boyfriend offered for him to stay with us. He asked me first, and I said I was happy to help Bill out until he got on his feet again, assuming it was temporary. At this point, Bill has been living with us since May, and to put it bluntly, I'm getting tired of it. In August, he was able to find a new job that, while I don't know the details of, pays comparably to his last one.
Okay.
In response, he's helped with utility bills and with the groceries, but made no move to move out. We've got
Scott Pilgrim.
I haven't seen that movie.
I have.
Am I right?
But wait, what's...
Scott Pilgrim lives with his gay roommate, and his gay roommate's like, you're going to have to move out. Because he's having dudes over all the time.
That's right. Now I remember. I forgot.
I like Bill, and he's a good guest, but I feel like it's time for him to find his own place. Our house is very small, so it feels like I'm never alone with my boyfriend. It's always me, my boyfriend, and Bill.
Good old Bill.
This is amplified because we are all in an area that has a lot of the vid cases, so we're all working from home and quarantining for the most part. I forgot this was during the vid. This accentuates the problem tenfold.
Yeah.
Ooh, not only are you oh wow, you're stuck with your boyfriend, which, you know, can put strain, but you're stuck with your boyfriend and Bill.
And Bill.
In our county, many things are closed. So it's not even like my boyfriend and I can go on a date alone to a restaurant or something because of the vid. Around New Year's, I brought up to my boyfriend Bill finding his own place. Well, Bill wasn't present. While my boyfriend wasn't mad at me, he explained that he feels like we need to be there for Bill in his time of need. When I pointed out that Bill has a job and is much more financially stable now, my boyfriend said that Bill would be lonely if he moved into an apartment by himself now because of the pandemic.
That sounds like a Bill problem.
Furthermore, my boyfriend said that Bill was there for him when his brother, my boyfriend's brother that is, passed away in a tragic accident when they were all teenagers. Because of that, he says that he should be there for Bill now. That doesn't mean that you get to force OP to also have to be there for Bill.
And that's the thing.
He also said that he considers Bill a brother and is happy to do whatever for him. He brought up how my sister, 30 female, stayed with us for a month in the past when she was trying to get out of a harmful relationship. Month versus how long Bill stayed.
Undefined time.
Undefined time, probably more than a month.
I think it was, he got the job in August, I think it was May to August so far in the story.
We've had a couple months.
We've had a couple months.
At least. Coming out of the talk, I guess I've been confused. I go back and forth between feeling like I'm being irrational to want Bill out of our house and feeling like it's justified. Maybe I'm being too harsh about the whole situation. I don't know. From our talk, it doesn't seem like my boyfriend minds Bill living with us at all. I suppose I don't know where to go from here. Should I just let it all be and assume Bill will move out when he's ready? Should I talk to my boyfriend again? Should I bring it up with Bill? I'm considering doing this, but was worried it would be inhospitable and not my place as he's much closer with my boyfriend. Anyway, thank you for any advice you can give. And there are some comments and an update, but do you have any advice that you can give?
Well, just to +1 your brilliant comment from earlier.
Thanks.
Just because OP's boyfriend wants to, let Bill do whatever, stay living the place. Now that this is also OP's living space, he cannot force and encroach what he wants upon her.
No. And it also seems like OP was operating under the idea that this wouldn't happen. It wouldn't go on for so long.
Yeah, like it would be a 1 month or, not a indefinite thing. And also too, it also would have been fair if OP was like, hey, happy to have him in, no worries, no problems. And then when it happened, she's like, I know I said that, but the reality of living it, and the everything shut down, I would honestly like to have my space back. That's also
fair.
Okay.
She's also not saying kick him out right now. She's saying, hey, can we talk to him about starting to make, begin the process of moving out, finding a place.
Yes. Make a plan.
That's a very fair request.
Yeah. So I think OP maybe could say that to the boyfriend. It's like, hey, listen, if it was him and you, I totally get it, totally understand. But Kelsey Hoff also says secret lovers, that's what we are. Yeah. Conspiracy theory. It could be true. It could be true.
Amy Lynn says, I don't think OP is the a-hole for feeling how she does. And also, it was hard to find new lodging during the vid. Which, totally fair if, he literally can't find anything. I don't think he's looking, though. And so I think her request is that he start looking.
Yeah.
She's not saying, I'm going to kick him out right now, even if he doesn't have a place. Comment 1, your boyfriend isn't being fair, comparing a single month for your sister with the 8 months of Bill.
Oh, that's a lot of Bill.
That's a whole lot of Bill.
That's a whole lot of Bill.
Hardly on the same scale. If the only reason is he'll be lonely, it's not as if you want him removed from your lives completely or are banning him from visiting. Does he really have no other friends or relatives to talk to? Does he not have a phone? OP says, right, that's exactly what I thought. And yes, I'm happy with Bill being in our lives. I just don't want him literally living with us.
Illegal.
As for relatives, from what I understand, Bill's parents were addicts. His mother passed a few years ago, boyfriend went to funeral, and he's not in contact with his father. He has a half-brother who lives in another state he talks with occasionally. He considers boyfriend's family his family and lived with them at various times as a kid, though to my knowledge, there was no formal arrangement. Most holidays, he comes to boyfriend's parents with us. They have other friends and a friend group that consists mostly of boyfriend's college friends. Pre the vid, they would all go out drinking. I don't believe he's very close with any of them, though, just my boyfriend. Comment 2. I get it. Having your girlfriend and best friend living with you during the vid is the best of both worlds. It is probably very comforting to him. But this isn't college. Bill has a job. It's time for him to go and live as a couple again. I would bring up with boyfriend again and also ask Bill what his timeline might be. Comment 3 says your boyfriend does not mind Bill living there. His statement about Bill being lonely says all you need to know. You're in trouble.
Oh.
And finally, looking up. This has been going on since Bill was dating. They set the scene and it has continued until you realize you didn't sign up for a roommate. Bill has been there almost a year. You need an exact move-out date. Is he paying bills? Are they split 3 ways? It sounds like you might need an ultimatum. It doesn't sound like your boyfriend will ask him to leave. Move-out date for Bill or leave. And there is an update.
I mean, I think we could... Wait, were they saying an ultimatum on, Bill moving out? Or, ultimatum hey, boyfriend, if you don't make Bill get out, I'm leaving the relationship?
I don't know, because the way it sounded to me was that could be very well what they're saying.
Yeah.
I think also, a solution that's still dramatic, but maybe a step down from that is just moving out.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's
I feel like there's I feel like there are many steps before that we could take before we get to that.
Even just going to the boyfriend and without attaching this dire consequence or ultimatum in their relationship, being like, hey,
I'm no longer comfortable with this.
I want to go to Bob and say, hey, let's, I don't know, give you another 30 days or whatever the situation is, right? Yeah. Let's have his plan and let's go tell him so that way there's a clear date. let's do this. Yes. And then see what happens.
And
there.
maybe also you can include Bill in that conversation and say, hey guys, I wanted to talk to you. Like, I really have loved having you, Bill,
Like, you're great.
here. Like,
Love Bill.
this is not against you or a friendship or anything. I just, didn't sign up to have a third roommate.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm kind of having that happen right now. There's this new roommate. They like to walk on all fours. Kind of always stays in Kristen's room. And it's nice when he's around, but I'd
Yeah.
like to know when he's coming around too, you know?
And sometimes he goes in your room and sleeps on your bed.
Yeah. And then also, I'll have food and he's always nosy and he's trying to have some. I'm like, dude, get your own food. Make your own food.
It's blondes.
He
Blondes
just
are always
leaves
like
his
that.
hair everywhere.
Yeah.
There's an update though. I took advice from some of the commenters and decided I was going to talk to both my boyfriend and Bill about Bill moving out. On Tuesday morning, when my boyfriend was out jogging, I asked Bill when he thought he was going to get his own place.
Little, let's see it.
I tried to be casual and not judgmental about it. Bill responded in stride, apologizing for staying with us for so long and saying that he had been looking for an apartment. I took this as a good sign.
Hmm?
On Wednesday, my
Nope.
boyfriend...
Smells fishy.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
But I've been looking this whole time.
how's he really?
Then why haven't you got it? Where's the urgency?
Pick up the bill, Bill.
On Wednesday, my boyfriend had a big presentation at work. It was virtual. I'll bring it up with him on Thursday after dinner. Bill was in his bedroom, and my boyfriend and I were watching TV in the living room. I told my boyfriend that I had talked to Bill about moving out, and it sounded like he'd been planning to do so soon. I honestly assumed that if he was truly planning to move out, he would have already told my boyfriend, as they're close. Boyfriend was immediately unhappy and told me that I shouldn't have told Bill that I wanted him to move out, which wasn't even what I said, because it probably made him feel bad. Yeah, OP literally just said, oh, how's the apartment hunt going?
Yeah.
I told him that Bill didn't seem fazed by it, but my boyfriend said that I don't know Bill well enough to tell. He's been living with Bill for 8 months. He then started talking about how Bill has mental health issues such as depression and anxiety, and living with us was helping him get over them. This is the first I've ever heard of any of this, though obviously I don't know everything about Bill, and he could very well have these issues. I was starting to get upset by this point and told him that it was too bad if Bill had these issues, but they weren't our problem, and that Bill was still intruding on our home and relationship. We started fighting to the point I was nearly crying.
Oh.
Sounds like a loud conversation.
Yeah, that Bill.
This is a small house.
Yeah.
At this point, Bill came out of his bedroom. Our house is a 1-story, so everything is close together. He must have heard us. Yeah, you guys were fighting loudly in the living room. And said he was leaving if it was causing so much stress. My boyfriend tried to stop him, but he left in his car, though all his stuff was still at our place. After that, my boyfriend and I exchanged a few words, and I finally told him that I didn't want to fight that night when we were both tired and emotional. I was going to stay the night at my sister's, 30 female. I took my laptop for work and a change of clothes and went to the apartment my sister lives in about 15 minutes away with her daughter, 8 female. Yes, I know this sounds a bit hypocritical, but I was only planning on staying at my sister's for the night, not months. I worked online from sister's today during the day. Boyfriend did not call me, and I did not call him. When I got out of work at 3, I drove back to my house to try and talk with my boyfriend. He wasn't there, and neither was Bill.
Oh, are they
on
together?
A vacation.
Oh, God.
This is odd, as both work remotely during the day and usually work until 4 or 5. All their stuff is still here, so obviously Bill hasn't moved out. I've tried calling
More
both
like
of them.
6 to 9.
Oh. I've tried calling both of them, and they didn't pick up. I fed our cat and am just kind of sitting here waiting for them to call me back. I don't really know what to do. On another note, I've gotten several calls from boyfriend's mother, 56 female, during the day. I didn't pick up, mainly because I was working, and also I really didn't want her involved in everything that was going on. Yeah, a huge red flag that he seemingly involved his mother before actually having a conversation with her, to the point where she's calling OP.
Yeah, he's like, Mom, my girlfriend's doing all these things, and
She won't let me hang out with Bill.
I like hanging out with Bill, and I want to live in with us for forever. I want to get married and have kids with Bill there.
She won't let me.
Mom.
For reference, boyfriend's mother and I are not particularly close. We talk on holidays and family get-togethers. Not really happening now because of the vid, and what she calls our home to talk to my boyfriend, but not much outside of that. While she's always been nice to me to my face, I know she disapproves of us living together before marriage as she's very religious. She has also had disagreements with my boyfriend about us not going to church frequently, but these have largely ended due to the vid. Needless to say, she doesn't really call me regularly, so I think her calls are probably about this situation, but I honestly have no clue what she could possibly have to say about it. I'm also confused as to why my boyfriend would even involve her, as they aren't really close. He talks to her regularly, but more out of obligation. I'm not sure if maybe he or Bill are at her place. I don't know. I guess I'm asking for advice. My sister thinks I should break out with my boyfriend. I'm not sure. We planned and built a life together. We have been planning a wedding.
Oh.
If it weren't for the vid, we'd already been married, which, yeah, they said at the beginning of the story.
It's true. I totally forgot.
I love him. On the other hand, I feel slighted and unimportant. It's Valentine's Day weekend, and he's not even here and is off who knows where.
Spinning it with Bill.
Spitting on it on Bill.
Ew. I'm just so confused and feel like I don't even understand what's going on anymore. How could Bill be more important than me? I don't get it. Any input would be appreciated. I feel like I need an outside perspective. I'm sorry if this doesn't make sense. I'm pretty upset and emotional. And edit to add, he's my fiance. He should be my husband by now, as we're going to be married last summer, but due to the vid, we weren't. And there is a second update, folks, but I want thoughts.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead, Riley.
We got to test our fiance's integrity with a camera by setting it up in the house to see what Bill and him get into.
This is the opposite of all the advice we've ever given. Testing cameras, filming.
No. It's just testing the integrity.
It's just exactly
it's just
that.
A test.
Yeah.
And cameras.
It's seeing the stress. How much of the stress can the relationship hold on to with a certain amount of integrity?
I disagree with this point. I do not condone this. John, do you have any advice that's maybe better?
I think that OP should go to the... I feel like...
Go to the store and buy a camera, yes.
We need to explain to boyfriend, like, hey, do you understand how you, like, bringing Bill in and kind of, like, stonewalling me, like, wanting him to not live there, it impedes upon, like, my, like, you know, freedoms and the way I want to be able to live and, like, not have to share everything. Because, like, he's getting mad at her, but it's like, hey, like, I've put up with this, and this is my space too. Like, it's both of our spaces, and it's like I have no say. Anytime I suggest we don't have Bill here because that's not what I personally prefer, which is fine, you just get mad and shut it down.
Yep.
It gets all crazy. I think I really need to, like, hammer that home and be like, and if he doesn't see that, bad.
Not good.
Here we go.
Round 2.
Gaycation. You
Gaycation.
put a flyer for the gaycation for Bill and Phil, and you see what they think. And if they start saying, "Hey, we're going to be taking a trip to where do they go? Isbala?
Ibiza.
Ibiza?
Ibiza.
Ibiza?
Ibiza.
You already know.
What is the gaycation? Can
Dude, so basically, John, it's where straight men can go to Ibiza for a week and indulge in with other men, but whatever happens on the gaycation stays on the gaycation. So you can go there, you must submit or be destroyed.
Yeah.
And you can't resist
word for word.
You must submit
That's
mind,
the beauty
body, and
of the
soul
gaycation.
to these men, and you're with these men, but when you come back, none of it was gay, and it passes. Not cheating at all.
It's not cheating.
Okay, so wow.
This was the argument made in this story.
No, that's the beauty of the gaycation.
It's the beauty of the gaycation.
So this
Whatever happens on the gaycation stays on the gaycation.
This isn't like go to a gay bar and get a free drink and feel pretty as a boy. This is that.
Yeah. And you are straight there, and when you come back,
Wow.
you're not gay at all.
That's the beauty of the gaycation.
Yeah, but some people get like mind warped and they stay there forever, and they're gay forever and they never come back.
Yeah, because they've been brainwashed.
Should definitely check out that live stream if you haven't, everyone. It was phenomenal.
But there is an update.
Oh.
Edit. Just talked to my boyfriend's mother. Apparently, my boyfriend called Thursday night and said he was going up to their cabin this weekend. It's about an hour away.
With who?
With Bill.
Uh-oh.
Couldn't get a hold of either of them. and was calling me to see if I could because she wanted to remind them of how to take care of the cabin. I assume they're up there. On Valentine's Day weekend?
I mean, I have to say, Riley's theory is looking stronger
Looking
by
strong.
the second.
It is looking strong.
I have to say.
Looking hard, right?
Oh, God.
The service is sketchy there, so that might be why I can't get a hold of them either. Edit 2. Hi guys, this really blew up. Thank you for all your comments and support. I appreciate it so much. I will try and respond. Still can't get in contact with my boyfriend. I'm planning on going over to my sister's and talking it over with her. If we still can't get in contact, we might go up to the cabin. I don't know. She doesn't have her daughter this weekend because she's with her ex. Edit 3. Hi guys, some of you asked for an update. I did not go to the cabin in the end. I left a voicemail to my boyfriend saying that I was worried and concerned and to please call me back.
Yeah, because it's been, how many days has it been since they've talked or he's been there?
Too many.
Yeah.
On the urging of my sister, I told him that his mom had told me where he was and that I was worried and would come up if I didn't hear back from him. After that, he did get back to me.
Finally.
And we talked briefly. He said he just needed to blow off steam and that's why he went away. He said he would be back Monday and we would talk then. We both have work off for President's Day. He apologized for missing Valentine's Day.
Y'all
Y'all aren't going to be preparing for a wedding for much longer.
Yeah, this is looking real bad, my guy.
I felt bad, but tried to stay calm because I didn't want to cause a scene. He initially said he was up there alone, but when I pointed out that his mom had said Bill was with him, he agreed that Bill was with him. This kind of made me feel a little weird, but I don't know. I asked if Bill was okay, and he said yes, that he's fine, which is good because after something you guys said, I was worried. I'm sorry I didn't respond last night. I stayed at my sister's with my cat. I saw some of you were worried. I would never leave her alone, and at least not if I knew no one else was home and wanted to get away from everything. Update 3. I just need to keep going because I really need to find out if they went on a gaycation.
Let's see it.
Hey guys, TLDR, we decided to break up.
Gasp.
My now ex-boyfriend came back at around noon with Bill. Bill briefly apologized to me for everything that had happened and then went back to his room. Boyfriend still calling him this to reduce confusion, and I talked in the living room of our house alone without Bill. I started and told him that I was sorry for overreacting on Thursday, but that I felt by running away and lying to me, he breached my trust. I told him that I felt we should break up. Boyfriend agreed with me. He apologized for everything he did, for missing Valentine's Day, for running away all weekend, for everything with Bill. He sounded sincere. He was crying. I asked him why he'd reacted the way he did.
A great question.
You guys who said he was in a relationship with Bill were right. Riley called it from the start. Happy Pride. You can say I told you so, I suppose.
Dude, ain't no way. You on Valentine's Day, you go with the person you're with, okay?
Mm-hmm. To a cabin.
In the
to
woods.
A cabin in the woods
On
on
Moose
Valentine's Day.
On Moose Mountain.
According to him, he and Bill fooled around. His words, not mine.
Knew it.
As kids, but stopped when boyfriend's brother passed away when they were 17. He said they were not involved since then, but were just close friends. He said that things developed after Bill moved back in with us, but that it was never his intention, and that's not why Bill moved in with us. He claims he did not have spicy sleep with Bill while he was living with us. But that they
okay,
did
that makes me feel
things-
so much better.
Yeah, but that they did things this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Plus, like,
Well, you know what? I actually do believe that they didn't do anything while they were living together because it would have been really hard to get away with that when they're all stuck together.
What?
During the vid,
No.
where they're all working at home
I mean,
and barely going out. Not that it's impossible.
yeah, harder, but not impossible.
Hey
But
guys, I'm going to the grocery store.
but
You don't need the visual every time.
Some people are visual learners. Okay?
I thought no visual humor, Riley.
Well, for our video watchers, they might need assistance.
There was a sound. I will.
There was a sound.
But to me, so I'm rethinking now all of his behavior before,
Yeah.
right? And he was so viciously, adamantly against Bill moving out, that to me is like, oh, you were in love with Bill and loved living with Bill, and low key living with both of them at the same, like kind of a really effed thing where you're like, hey, I'm gonna
get my cake and eat it too.
I'm gonna get my cake and eat it too. I'm gonna say I think he's in love probably with Bill, right? They have so much shared history and all this stuff.
And it must have been really hard not to like admit that.
Yes. And he's with it's just such an effed scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boyfriend effed up big time.
Yikes. I don't know if that's true, though I doubt they could have been hooking up a lot because our place was so small and I was usually around. He said that when I confronted Bill about moving out, Bill in turn confronted him about deciding what he wanted. He said he freaked out, that he was confused and scared and overreacted and treated me bad. He said he's not gay or bi and insisted that he was straight, and that was the beauty of the gaycation. And that he loved me. It was an emotional conversation. We were both crying. By the way, you can cry with us. If you listen to full episodes of stories just like this, just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. What?
Uh-oh.
Man, you're so far in the closet.
Yeah.
Stop.
Boyfriend needs to understand and figure out what's going on in here. Am I wrong?
No. This is so frustrating. This is so frustrating. In the end, I told him that I was going to move out and that he could stay there. It sounded like Bill was staying too. I'm staying at my sister's now with my kitty, and I'm going to start looking for an apartment. I'm doing okay. I'm still struggling and feel pretty horrible, but I'm starting to realize that it was probably good all this came out before he became my husband. It is good that he came out before he became your husband. Yes.
And then you would have been the beard.
I mean, she kind of already was.
Yeah, like this is literally Brokeback Mountain. They're like, we're not that. We're straight. I love my wife, but I can't quit you.
Oh.
Thank you again for all your help. I keep saying this, but I truly appreciate it. Folks, that's the end of that story.
Wow.
Rini says, well, I truly feel bad for people with religious trauma that prevents them. Good point.
Yes, talk about it.
Prevents them from recognizing who they are. Imparting that trauma on others is never okay. I totally forgot that his mom is super religious.
Yes.
To the point, she's like, I don't want you guys living together even.
You're go to church more.
Yeah, go to church more. So she's probably pretty religious. So he probably doesn't feel comfortable coming out. Does not mean that he can cheat on his partner.
Yeah.
No.
Or like, and again, he doesn't fully understand his sexual preferences yet, but like if he never was romantically or spicily interested in OP in the first place, now OP has spent all this time in this relationship with this person and built up expectations. Well, I'm going to marry this person. It's like, oh.
I think there's probably a possibility that he totally is and like has been in love with her.
Yes, totally. Very, very possible. Yes.
But has just been like kind of pushing this other feeling of love and, attraction to Bill and other men down.
Have you guys ever dated someone and then right after they started being with the same sex?
I've only dated one person.
This has also happened to me.
It's happened to me twice. Once in, I think, high school, and then another in 2 years ago.
The sign.
What? I'm doing something wrong? Yeah, but like, what do you do after that? Like, as this girl, what do you do? Like, oh, like, was he ever really attracted to me? Did he ever really love me? Like those thoughts would go through your head, right?
Yeah, but I think, you just have to remember that bisexuality exists.
Like, I see you.
Yeah. You're like, cool.
But like, it's during that time, like if like your partner, your ex leaves you and gets with another person immediately after, wouldn't you have those same thoughts and feelings?
Sure. But it just depends on the scenario. I mean, like if a person's like openly bi, then you can be like, oh, if they got immediately with another person, maybe they didn't really like respect our relationship. I could be like a thing that you feel.
I just would be pretty hurt because it seems like she's just stunned and taking a step back instead of being hurt.
I mean, I would imagine.
Right?
I would imagine she's hurt, stunned, shocked, and
this was going to be your husband.
Yeah.
Oh, I got confused. I thought we were still talking about you.
No, I'm talking about OP.
Sorry, I was confused. OP, yeah, probably very hurt and stuff. She was cheated on, and also he doesn't even know what he is.
Yes.
He has not even come to like reckon with that.
Yes. And to clarify my comment from earlier, I wasn't saying for sure that he was not bi. I was saying there could be a possible scenario, potentially, in which that wasn't the case. But
yeah, I mean, he really does. He's been suppressing. There's of course a possibility of that because he literally doesn't know. It
does. It seems the only thing that is at least the clearest of what we do know is that he wants to be with or explore what it looks like to be with Bill.
Yes.
At this point.
All right. Well, folks, that's the end of that story.
I bought a house behind my father's back because he's unsupportive.
Back support.
To start this off, I, now 31 female, moved out of my dad's home when I was 14 years old. Wow. He had anger issues, and me moving out and refusing to come back was his rock bottom, and he got the help he needed. I was lucky, and a family member took me in, and I slowly let him back into my life. By the way, this comes from Big No 1547, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Quick trigger warning, this might have some anger issues. If you want to skip to the next story, go ahead and do that. Back 12 years ago or so, I was fresh out of high school, but had an awesome paying job and inheritance from my grandparents. I decided I wanted to buy a house near the local college so that way I could get a degree and get an even better job. Buying a house at 18, let's go.
All right, shout out inheritance.
The house I found was 4 beds and 3 baths and listed for under $100,000.
Where are you living? The moon? Like,
Please tell us.
Where do you get that real estate?
South Dakota. And I had just been updated. The house had just been updated. This was after the 2008 bubble burst, so the deal was really good.
Okay.
I went through the pre-approval process and put in an offer. Before I heard back, I showed my dad the house. I already lived alone, having moved out of the family member's house, but wanted to share my happiness and thought that he would be happy for me. I was horribly wrong. He berated me for over an hour, the highlights being, I was dumb to think I could handle owning a house at 19. I don't know how to own a house because I was too young. That was the same thing. I didn't need such a big place because it was only me.
That's true. That's kind of fair.
Roommates would destroy the place. That was the next example. Maintenance would just cost too much. I would eventually end up with a foreclosure on my record. Oh my God, so many reasons. So even though my offer was accepted, I walked away and regretted it deeply for years. Dude, freaking dad.
Instead of being jelly, dad should have been like, okay, so here's how we turn this into an investment that grows money instead of a hole in the ground that you throw money into.
I used to periodically check and see how much the house was worth, but stopped in 2016. I decided I was obsessing and it was unhealthy, but the house was worth over $400,000.
Yeah, I did the same thing with crypto. I took a long time before I could look at it again.
You got to stop it. Now, I thought I had let go of the negative feelings, but it seems house hunting has brought them back. I can't help thinking how much easier buying our new home would be if I had that house to sell for a down payment. My husband knows the story and supports me not telling my dad and even agrees. Then I was talking to one of my aunts and told her about the house we now have under contract. I asked her not to tell my dad. When she asked why, I explained and she told me, well, if your father didn't burn all his bridges and would act like the adult he thinks he is, he would be left out of this kind of thing. Turns out they are not talking right now because he demanded money from her. She offered to pay him to do some basic chores since he doesn't have a job right now, but he claimed he was too busy and just wanted the money.
I'm too busy being unemployed. Just give me your money.
I have also heard his side since he called me to complain about her. He, however, left out the part where she offered to pay him to help her. While I agree he's acting like an entitled a-hole, I'm wondering if my aunt is agreeing with me because she's mad at him for the way he treated her. She definitely has every right to be mad, especially considering he sent some really nasty texts. But I also know the fallout from him not finding out about the house until after we have moved in will be unpleasant, to say the least. So now I am questioning if I might be acting like the a-hole, and we have some relevant comments and a verdict. But Dakota, first, do we think Opie's a-hole?
No.
And why not?
Because it feels like your dad's just kind of like a negative force And it's like, yeah, why don't we let's not involve him. Let's come on. Because if you do, he's just going to be like, how many rooms do you have?
I think he's proven time and time again that he is just not helpful or productive or anything like that. He just wants to be negative and not work and get money.
That's right. He said, give me the money.
I'm too busy right now. I can't do any like chores to earn the money, but if you could just give me the money, just give me the money. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so the verdict on the Reddit story was not the a-hole, so we passed the test. And relevant comments from Mikey Weasel says, not the a-hole. Yeah, sounds like your dad will be an a-hole whether you tell him or not. Your decision with your aunt should really make this clear to you. If you tell him beforehand, you run the risk of him attempting to ruin it as well. If you and her husband have done due diligence, then ignore him and move in first. Also, why are you telling family members? The more people who know your dad know this secret, the more likely it is for it to work its way to him. And yes, your aunt might not tell him directly, but this is the type of info that someone you had not told to keep it secret might assume that your dad already knew. So your aunt tells mystery person A this info, mystery person A asks your dad about it because of that, ergo, daddy finds out. But Opie responds, I was stressed out when I talked to her and let slip why. That was a mess up on my part, though I didn't know she will tell anyone else since I told her I was trying to keep it a secret until after the appraisal comes back. At that point, it will be a done deal, even if we aren't living there yet. She has in the past been good at keeping secrets until I want others to know. When I was pregnant, she knew I was having a girl months before anyone else and didn't say a word of it to anyone, not even to her friends. Well, there you go. Fotely3146 says, not the a-hole. You don't owe him any explanation or apology of any kind. Agreed.
Exactly. Yes.
And if he gets mad, that'll be because he really wants to get mad, not because the situation justifies it. Also, has he ever apologized for the worst real estate advice ever? Good question. I can't wrap my head around the comment of you not knowing how to own a house. It's like a brand new sentence I didn't even know was possible. Now, Opie says he hasn't apologized. I just don't bring up stuff like this because he will throw a tantrum over it. He acts like a child a lot of the time, and I find it easier just to avoid setting him off and keeping things between us shallow. I'm not sure how else to describe how I deal with him. Now I have an update. Dakota, what do you conspirize Daddy is going to do? Give me
jail. Dad's
jail.
Going to jail.
Daddy's going to jail.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna do some crazy stuff once he's gonna eventually find out the house exists. Then he's gonna, in like a entitlement rage, go woo, and he's gonna like do something to the house, and it's gonna be on camera because OP's thinking ahead. And so that's my conspiracy.
Let's get into this update. We closed on the house late last week and moved in over the weekend. Let's go. Woo! I did not tell him what we were doing until after closing papers were signed and we had keys in hand. But do you know how to use them? Do you know how to own house? Telling my dad went better than I thought it would, but I also didn't word it in a way that would come off as me asking his opinion. Yeah, tell him I bought a house. The end.
Right, because you don't need his opinion.
I called all my other family first before calling him. I was planning to just text him, but instead I called him and told him I was sending a text. The text I sent was a link to the house listing, yes, this means he knows our address, but at this moment was unavoidable. He asked me when we would be closing and mentioned that he didn't like the location. Before he could say more, I told him we had just finished signing all the papers and were taking our first carload of boxes over. It's over, Daddy. That shut down the conversation, and while he was happy for us, I could tell he was unhappy either that I didn't tell him sooner or that he didn't get his thoughts on the house first. He hung up pretty quickly after that. I'm happy with how I went about it, even if my dad isn't. I know he was going to pick my home apart if I let him, especially since he had already said he didn't like the area. He's been mostly silent on the house news, but will text or call about anything else. My husband thinks the way he's been shut down is hilarious. He did the same with his mom, who thinks her grown children should always ask her permission to do anything in life as well. Everyone in our home is happy, and those who aren't don't get a say in it anyway because they don't live there. We also have made strategic use of all of the rooms, so we don't have a guest room of any kind. I also now have a yarn closet instead of yarn boxes shoved into a corner. What an upgrade.
Big ups.
Big
what
ups.
A come up.
That is a
Yarn
good one.
closet?
Yarn closet's crazy. Thank you to everyone who's responded. I'm trying to get back to everyone, but I'm also at work, and while it's a slow day, I do still have things I need to finish. If you don't get a response from me, please know it's not because I didn't read it or appreciate what you wrote. And we have some relevant comments from Corona Cutie, who says, I bought my first house at 1920.
And you're an idiot.
Stupid.
You weren't ready.
Oh, you throwing the keys. How do door open, house own? Hello. I was financially able to do it, and it was a huge investment in my future. I couldn't imagine my parents trying to talk me out of it. They knew it would only help me, especially with the price I bought it at and the interest rate I was able to obtain. It's been 6 years. I have $50,000 equity now just from rising house markets. I'm sorry your a-hole dad has talked to you out of a wonderful investment. I don't think you're an a-hole at all for not telling him. And Opie says, after posting this, I've come to realize just how terrible a person my dad is. I'm working on steps to go very low contact with him and figure if I play it right, I can eventually cut him out without losing the rest of my family. Calm in the Desert says, not the a-hole, the cherry on top of this great update is that you've made it so you don't have a guest room. As a fellow Yarnies in the chat sound the freak off.
Dude, they're here, dude.
What's up? I salute you to being able to spread all of your lovely yarns.
Ooh, yeah. Spread that yarn.
Spread your yarns. Opie says the lack of a guest room is a precaution against both our families wanting to visit and stay with us. I plan on telling them the same thing I told them all when we lived in an apartment. We have an air mattress you can use in the living room floor, but the cat and dog will try to cuddle you. And we have update number 2. I thought we were just about to finish this freaking story off here. In May, he made noises about visiting us on the way through the area to visit his father-in-law in early July and said their visit would be my birthday present this year. He and his wife were going to help father-in-law with some farm-related stuff. I told him we had a camping trip sometime in July. I just didn't know when yet. He was annoyed, but said, okay, why would you be annoyed at that? In the first week of June, we picked our camping date for late July, so it didn't interfere. I texted him the dates and received a thumbs up in response. The month lead up to when they were supposed to visit was quiet. My birthday was midweek this year, so I was expecting to hear they would stop by either the weekend before or after. I heard nothing by the Friday before, so we made other plans. On my birthday, on the day of my birthday, I finally received a text at 9 p.m. that said, "Happy birthday. I've been busy helping with the harvest all day and just remembered to text you."
We gotta make sure we got enough grain to feed us during the winter. Happy birthday.
I was annoyed but sent a thanks back. I made excuses like he probably didn't have time to stop. He'll definitely see us on the way back through. Yeah, because you know what? It's not even the late text. It's the, oh, you said, oh, we're going to visit you, all this stuff. And then you just send me a late birthday text instead of any communication on visiting or seeing you.
Right.
That's a pretty big one. Guys, I was wrong. He passed us by both ways. Not even a phone call. I'm not too proud to admit that hurt. I am so glad I didn't tell my kiddo about his visit. I was worried he would flake. I don't know why something told me that he wouldn't show, and I knew it would break kiddo's heart if he did that. So I cut all contact in August. I called him out on everything he ever did, every instance of abuse, and told him I was done until he went to therapy and could apologize to me and actually be an adult. He lost it on me and called me every name he could think of, and he said he did it because I never told him we would be in town. When I sent him the screenshot of when I texted him the dates, he changed the story to they didn't have time, and I was selfish to think that they owed me a visit since we never visit them. I thought he was referring to the nightmare that has been 2020 and 2021. Nope. Apparently, our visiting my hometown and scheduling a day for each family household means we never come to visit because we don't spend the entire week catering to his desires. He hated us visiting my aunt and uncle one day, him the next, my aunt and uncle the next, and my half-sis and her dad, my mom, a day for friends, and him again on the last day before we head out. That is quite a schedule. But we never came to see just him and no one else, so it didn't count. So since then, he sent me one letter. This daddy's got something to say. I didn't open it. I just sent it back. He's tried to send kiddo packages without a return address, so I can't send them back. Those items have been donated. I did have to explain to kiddo in an age-appropriate way, thank you, therapist, for figuring out how to do that, and shout out therapist, why we can't see grandpa right now. Kiddo was sad, but told me it's okay because when you hurt someone, you need to say sorry and show the person you hurt you won't do it again. I wanted to cry. I'm so proud of my child for understanding this concept. I would cry too. By the way, if you want to cry every single day of your life, of mother effing joy, yes, I'm doing it.
Yes, the good version of crying.
The good version of crying, where you are so grateful. You've had the greatest gift ever given to you. Ladies and gentlemen, do I have some ground earthquake shaking news for you?
Ground earthquake.
It's okay story time. Search on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your pods. And guys, we have 2,000 episodes. I mean, literally, I have been running out of my own podcast to listen to as a human because I don't listen to my own podcast because that's crazy. And I wish I had 2,000 episodes I could binge of my show, of the shows I'm into.
Yeah.
So go do that. But we're almost at the end of the story, Dakota. Do you have any closing thoughts?
First thought would be on like, I could have bought this thing for $100K and now it's worth more. And like my parents told me not to. And like, and I just need them to get it. Like, well, it's like you need to stop making everything hinge on them getting it because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like you just need to make peace with that and take away from it and learn like, oh, first of all, my dad's not a great source of financial literacy. Yeah. Because that was a great deal for a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, regardless of your age. So then you just move forward with that knowledge. And yeah, and now we don't need to really worry about him because he's like not a present force of good in our life. You know?
Wholeheartedly agree. Yeah. Do you agree with the no contact? The full stop no contact?
Yeah, especially with the kids involved because you got to think of the children. It's once the kid's involved, it doesn't matter if, it's like, yeah, I know how to deal with my dad and he doesn't impact me, but like the kid is going to be impacted by his grandfather not seeming to care about him.
Let's close this bad boy out, shall we? All things considered, I am a happier person than I was when I had him in my life. I hadn't realized just how much of my energy I spent on him. I don't have to plan trips home around what he wants. I don't have to cover for him with Kiddo. I don't have to question if something is going to hurt his feelings or make him look bad or any number of things. A weight has been lifted. Thanks for reading my ramblings. Waffle Gang. I hope everyone is enjoying the holiday season. And some quick final comments. Irish Brigade says, why were you still talking to this guy after the last 2 posts? He sounds absolutely vile. Kiddo understands something the baby juice donor doesn't. Oh, forgot baby juice. Shout out to baby juice.
Shout out baby juice.
Something most kids start figuring out when they're 3. OP says emotional abuse is a heck of a substance. It took 5 months of weekly therapy for me to unravel that knot. I've learned in that time just how badly messed up my childhood was, and it turns out it is not normal to have linear memories until high school. I have disassociated nearly half of my life into oblivion because of him. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of that story.
Indeed.
My sister falsely called the CPS on me, so I removed her from my home.
Yeah, APS, I need you to remove an adult from my house.
Ooh, because I don't like that adult. Buckle up. This one's a hot mess express. I, 29 female, and my younger sister, Kylie, 21 female, and her boyfriend, James, 21 male, homeless, ... And now half my family's dragging me, saying it's just one argument. But was it, though? Here's the full saga. We have got a whole setup here.
Oh, yeah. This is about to be very well written.
By the way, this comes from Sufficient Cat 4762 as opposed to a Insufficient Cat on the r/Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit and send them in there.
Yeah, she should thought maybe go over there.
For some context, I have been raising Kylie off and on since she was 12 because our mom's a booze addict, and I didn't want her in foster care like I was. I have 4 kids, 9, 8, 7, and 2 boys and 2 girls, and Mama's busy. Okay?
Mama's busy.
Mama's busy. A few months ago, Kylie and James moved into my house. When they moved in, they got the entire downstairs. I'm talking master bedroom, living room, pantry, and their own bathroom. Rent was to be split 50-50. They'd pay $50 for their own water, $50 for their own internet, and me and my boyfriend, 29 male, would cover everything else. this is a deal.
Sounds like a deal.
I was under the impression that they both worked full time, and it turns out that that was a lie. For some extra context, they'd just been punted out of our grandmother's house after 3 years because they fought so much the landlord wouldn't renew the lease. Dude, the landlord wouldn't renew the lease on Granny, bro. Like, he wouldn't even give Granny a place to stay.
The landlord said, in this moment, I gotta prioritize my own peace.
Yeah,
You gotta get off of my land.
Should have been my first red flag. That is true. At first, Kylie helped clean. Then it was, I'm the only one cleaning. Girl, my kids have a chore chart. They're on it. They clean baseboards with toothbrushes like I did growing up. Plus, I deep clean every Saturday. My son has asthma. I don't play around with cleanliness. Meanwhile, Kylie and James destroyed my house, fought constantly, broke the basement bedroom door, broke an actual stair step, so the stairs now move.
How do you do that?
What? Ate literally everything. And me and my boyfriend buy all the groceries. I'd go to the kitchen and there would literally be nothing for my kids. They'd even take food from my deep freezer to their friends' houses to grill and wouldn't bring me a plate. James, disgusting, leaves booty dust on the toilet. He doesn't wash his hands. He would only shower if Kylie cleaned him first.
These are aliens.
Would wash dishes in cold water because hot water hurts his hands.
Yeah, this is alien. This alien dude.
His own mom told him he couldn't live with her because of how nasty his God dang.
Wow.
One night, Kylie comes home, wasted again, wakes up my kids at 2 a.m., shaking them, asking where I am, screaming through the house like she didn't know people have jobs and kids have school. And this is after I found out she had a bench warrant she'd been dodging. What is a bench warrant?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Did this woman shook your kids awake?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You're gone the next day.
Yeah, that's...
You're gone. Actually, you're gone the moment I learned that happened, is you're gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
not playing
And a
around with
bench
that.
warrant is the law is looking for her because she skipped court.
I'd had enough. I called the cops and told them that she had a warrant. Here we go. They picked her up. She spent 4 days in jail.
Straight to jail.
That's what we talked about.
Straight to jail, 4 days jail.
Not enough. Comes home again, I believe, still wasted, still loud, still fighting James. And this time, when I ignored her, she called CPS. She called Child Protective Services and the police. Told them I left my kids alone, home alone to DoorDash. I don't even DoorDash. So Child Protective Services came, saw my house, saw my clean house, well cared for kids, and closed the case immediately. The next morning, I printed out the police reports, the false Child Protective Services claim, screenshots of fights and threats, and filed a restraining order.
Huzzah!
That's where the not enough was, and this makes a lot of sense.
She's gonna have another bench warrant for that restraining order, I bet.
Oh, she's gonna keep coming. She's gonna break it 1,000 times, and then 400 days in jail. That's where we're headed next. The judge granted the restraining order in under 4 hours. Yeah, this judge hates her.
Yeah,
this judge knows her and hates her.
It doesn't sound fast when you think about it, like a 4-hour movie. That's like a long time, but a 4-hour like restraining order, it's instantaneous.
So now my family's mad, saying, you made your sister homeless over one fight. Baby, it wasn't one fight. It was years of chaos. I chose my peace, my kids' safety, and my home.
Also, are we ignoring that, like, they're like, you made your sister homeless? She had a bench warrant.
The judge made her homeless because she did things very worthy of arrest.
Yeah. I decided I shouldn't harbor a fugitive in my home with my children.
Yeah, right? Golly. Am I the a-hole for making my sister homeless over one argument? By the way, not what you think it's going to be. She has a few days to appeal this protection order, so I'll keep you updated. And we have an update.
Oh, they were true to their word.
Talk to me.
Like, not your fault that an unlivable situation having these people in your house, and you have kids, dude. If you didn't have kids, it's one thing, But like even then, it's like just because someone is your sister or like is related, it doesn't mean that they're just like carte blanche entitled to like be around you and be in your house and like be up to no good, be up to dastardly deeds. And so the only thing you maybe didn't need to do was like call the sheriff and be like, hey, this warranted person is here. But like honestly, it's probably for the best, because if you didn't, she's probably just gonna hang out around your property.
Keep staying. Yeah, squat. Update. Let's freaking do it. Not sure if I updated it right the first time, but just as I expected, she is appealing the restraining order. We have court next week, the 29th at 11 a.m. Will she show up? That is the question. And my mom made sure to call me and tell me that she was going with her. Now, after this is all said and I'm done, I am going very, very low contact with my family. Because you're already not a good mom, but now you're also picking sides? You should have either stayed neutral or stayed out of it. Or told the little brat that she was wrong. But whatever, I guess, I will update once we finish court. Time to print out all texts and upload my cameras in the house to a flash drive and print pictures of the things that they've broken. Oh yeah, OP has receipts.
Oh yeah, property damage receipts.
Honestly,
the worst kind.
Sister is even more of an idiot because OP just has a nuke of evidence that is just going to probably get her more repercussions, because the stairs, property damage, that wasn't even brought to court yet.
God, the stairs. How do you break stairs?
All right, update number 2, y'all. Are we ready?
Yes.
I think we got the court stuff.
We're
Here
in
we
the
go.
King's Court.
All right, y'all. We had court today, and it went exactly how I expected, like a whole circus. Kylie and my mom showed up together, of course, and not only did my mom look like she hadn't seen a comb or clean outfit in a week, but she was also wasted as heck. Wow.
Not a good look at the court.
Stumbling around holding a Pepsi bottle that I'm 99% sure was straight vodka with a splash of soda just for color. The smell followed her like a cloud. Did she not get arrested? My goodness. We all sat down in the waiting area, me, my boyfriend, Kylie, James, and my mom, and we waited. What felt like forever, but was actually about an hour, while people ahead of us pled guilty to DUIs, which honestly felt a little ironic. The entire time, Kylie was sitting in front of me and my boyfriend, turning around, snickering, whispering to my mom, and James like they were a bunch of high schoolers passing notes in class. The immaturity was next level. Finally, we get called up. I'm seated on the right side of the court. Kylie's on the left with a big podium between us, so we couldn't get to see each other directly, probably for the best. The judge swears us in, asks us both to confirm that everything we say is true to the best of our knowledge. We agree. Then the judge looks at me and says, go ahead, tell me what happened. So, laid it all out. The threats. Her coming home wasted at 2 a.m., waking my kids up, screaming through the house, beating on James in front of my kids, the excessive drinking, the time she called Child Protective Services on me with a fake claim, the damage she and James did to my house, every bit of it. Then it was Kylie's turn, and she really tried to play the victim, claimed that I was abusing the court system, said she was never a threat to me, quote unquote, and that she only mentioned having a pew-pew to make me answer her calls. She said that out of her own mouth to the judge, thinking that that's helping her case here.
Yeah, she's like, I've got it in the bag.
I only said I had the because I wanted her to answer my calls. That's, Your Honor, you get that right.
Your Honor, I was just threatening her.
Yeah,
with a weapon.
She just needed to answer me, dude. Like, what else was I going to do?
Duh.
Freaking judge, dude, come on. Girl! The audacity. The judge asked if I wanted to move forward with a protection order, and I said, absolutely yes. Kylie then had the nerve to claim she's never been harmful to anyone a day in her life. And you know what? I came prepared. Pulled out printed screenshots of old texts she sent me, threatening people, including one where she admitted to hitting our uncle with her car in a hit and run.
Oh my God, that's a felony. Hi.
The exact warrant, by the way, that I called the cops on her for. Yeah, so like,
oh my God, she had a bench warrant for a hit and run.
And
that's terrible.
Remember, the whole family was mad at her for calling the cops on her because of the arrest. So what about Uncle? Uncle doesn't get any justice, even though she hit him with a car? Oh my God. The look on her face when I pulled that out, chef's kiss. I also reminded the judge that when I had custody of her at 13, because remember, OP raised her on and off all these years, trying to keep her out of foster care. She had to be physically removed from my home for threatening her teacher. She literally told her she'd cut the baby out of her stomach. Wow.
Whoa.
And for threatening to make sure I did not wake up. And since then, she's been punted out of our mom's house, our grandma's, and even James' mom's house because of her violent, reckless drinking and behavior. Everywhere she goes, chaos follows.
Does the state need to take care of her now?
Yeah, the state is in jail. Jail and prison is mom and dad.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You just go to mom. Mom's jail. You don't want to talk to dad. Dad's prison.
Exactly. Run to mom. That's what you want. Okay.
Talk to mom first. For sure.
Listen, lesser of two evils over here. So the judge seemed kind of over it by then, cut me off, and said that she'd issue her ruling later today. No verdict yet, but Kylie's sitting there convinced that it'll be thrown out because, according to her, we never had a disagreement. The delusion is wild. Anyways, I'll keep y'all posted as soon as the judge rules. But after today, I'm done. I'm going very low contact with the rest of the family too, because watching your own mom wasted in court snickering with your abuser while your kids are at home, yeah, I'm good on that.
True.
I get that.
True.
And we have update number 3. Welp, y'all. The roller coaster ride has officially come to a stop.
Aloha, yeah.
The verdict came back today, and after everything, the threats, the wasted episodes, waking my kids up in the middle of the night, the CPS call, the police reports, pictures of the damage to my home, screenshots of her threatening text, the impact statements, the judge ruled that the allegations and testimony did not support the statutory requirements.
Boo.
I'm so utterly confused. In other words, they labeled it a sibling quarrel. Whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. I'm not even going to lie. I sat there in disbelief when they read the decision. I genuinely thought with everything I submitted, it would be enough. I didn't just throw claims around. I came in with facts, proof, statements, and evidence from multiple people, and somehow it wasn't considered enough to warrant legal protection. So now I'm left in this weird space where she technically has no restrictions on coming around me, my home, or my kids. And if you've been following the story, you know exactly the kind of person she is. She'll show up just to pester me, cause problems, or stir up drama for no reason, and then make my life heck, because that's who she has always been. Right now, we're going to look into the VAWA Violence Against Women's Act options and see if there's any way to pursue action through that route, since it covers pesterment, stalking, and abuse situations outside of typical domestic partnerships.
Oh, okay.
The problem is, without an active restraining order on file, it does make things complicated. And honestly, I can't afford to just up and move right now. Times are hard, rent's insane, and while I know I can save by the end of my lease, waiting that long isn't ideal if she's showing up, banging on my door, or pestering my kids. So for now, it looks like every time she pulls something, I'll have to call the cops and document. It's exhausting. All I want is peace, to raise my kids in a safe, calm home without chaos at the door. But apparently the courts see it just as sisters fighting. By the way, if you are as tired of these kinds of scenarios as we are right now, we have something that could help you run through, virtually simulate the worst life has to offer, and not only prepare you for these said scenarios, but maybe, just maybe, put a smile on your face while you're listening to that. And that's going to Spotify, Apple, or iHeart, or your favorite pod app, and searching OK Storytime. And guys, we have 2,000 episodes. Please check them out. Leave comments on Spotify, by the way. We do check those. We check those pretty regularly, actually. Our team takes those Spotify comments, and we make changes to improve the podcast based on those.
It's true.
Fun fact for you. So go please check that out.
A lot of people told us we were too loud for a minute when I came on at the beginning.
There might have been, was it coincidence? Was it correlation or causation?
It was probably a bit of both. But hey, you let us know.
The
So
people
now
talk and we listen.
I try to not be so loud.
That's right. Our boy has been smooth voiced ever since.
I'll be tactically loud. It's my trademark. I'll
Exactly.
get loud and it'll be funny because it sounds like I'm far away.
Let's round off the story, ladies and gentlemen. So that's where we are. Not the ending I wanted, but it's not over. I'll do whatever it takes to keep my baby safe and my home protected. Honestly, I'm in tears. I feel let down and I don't know where else to go or what to do, but I'll figure it out and hopefully it's before something terrible happens. Thank you to everyone who followed this mess from start to finish. I appreciate the love, advice, and support more than you know. Stay safe, y'all. And if your gut tells you something is dangerous, listen to it, blood or not. Signing off for now. And that's the end.
Dude, and honestly, like listening to your gut, such critically underrated advice. Sometimes it can get you into trouble, but like a lot of times, I don't know.
There's something there.
I don't know. You build a relationship with your gut and learn if you can trust it or not. My mother-in-law stole my son's prize money, so I called the cops. And this comes from one of you out there on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Here it goes. My mother-in-law's neighbor invited me, 23 female, my fiance, 23 male, and our 2 kids, 3 male and 2 female, to an Easter thing they hold every year, a glow-in-the-dark egg hunt. Everything was going well. My son ended up finding a prize egg, a paper in an egg that said prize. After we showed the neighbor he got one when they asked, they brought out one of those big eggs. It had a $5 bill and lots of candy. By the way, this comes from user Blue Jolly Rancher 20, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit where this story was submitted. Mother-in-law offered to take my kids' baskets back home with her, as my fiance had felt bad and went to use the restroom over there, and I had both of my toddlers to wrangle at someone else's house whom I didn't know. When my fiance came back, we said our goodbyes and thanked everyone for including us in the hunt. We went back to my mother-in-law's house and the baskets were on the end of the couch. I noticed immediately prize egg had gone missing. Hard to miss, as it was a huge egg with a clear part to it. I asked my mother-in-law about it and she said she'd put it away for safekeeping. My fiance also asked her where the egg had gone, and she said she took it back to the neighbor's house, which was empty. Now, the next day, being Easter, everything was going well. We had our own hunt and everything, and that evening, I asked my mother-in-law about the prize she had put away so that my son could have it. We also planned on letting him choose a couple snacks and toys from the dollar store with the $5 he got, and if he went over, we were going to pay the remainder. She told me, quote, I'm going to open an account for the kids and put that in it. Mind you, number one, she didn't discuss this with me, and number two, it's not her money to do anything with, it's my son's money, and she stole it, i.e. taking something that doesn't belong to you. Anyway, I said, okay, what about the candy from it so he can have some? And she blew up at me saying, I don't know. You probably ate it, witch. Get out of my room with that crazy crap.
What?
Okay. I walked out of the room, and as I did, because I was rightfully angry and insulted, I said, what's crazy is taking $5 from a toddler. Immediately after I said that, as I was near the bathroom door, barges out from her room and starts shoving me and demanding I leave her house, which we had stayed at for the past few months due to renovations on our house and her telling us to stay there. She shoved me through the entire house while I said I'd leave, but I'm taking my kids with me. She yelled at me to get the F out now, called me a B multiple times, shoving me the entire time while I had my arms raised above my head so her daughter, sister-in-law, and her husband, father-in-law, and my fiance could see I wasn't doing a dang thing. Anyway, she kept pushing me and blocking me from getting to my kids, which made me increasingly more upset. My fiance then got up and got her off me so I could get our kids and exit the house, after not only her physically shoving me, but her daughter as well. I called the police because she had physically shoved me and her daughter and blocked me from getting my kids. All that over $5 and candy that belonged to my son. So am I the a-hole for asking about where she put my son's money and candy? I mean, I don't think that's the right question, OP. I think the right question is, should we have called the police on a crazy old lady? Which, when you strip away all the context, that's what that sounds like.
I mean, I don't think that she's necessarily in the wrong for doing that. If she's asking if she'd be the a-hole if she went back and asked for it again, I say, hey, maybe give it up. It's $5 and some candy. but I get the principle of it.
Yeah, it's still not even an a-hole. It's more just like we're wasting our time.
Right. It's like you're
Like-
not going to get what you want. It's probably going to end up with you getting shoved again. Let's just like not even take the L because you like, let's just get out of that situation and not talk to her anymore.
Yeah, I mean, is there anywhere else we
She's
can
crazy.
stay with the renovations going on at your place? Like, is there? Because it sounds like, like realistically, the police aren't going to do anything here.
No,
Like,
it's $5.
it's just going to make the situation a little worse, realistically.
If you needed the police so that she would stop shoving you, if she was like really being like persistent with it or like chasing you or something,
Yeah,
which is,
or-
like, okay, fine. Like I get the police in that moment, but like stop going back to it.
Also,
we're good
husband,
now.
where's husband? Husband needed to be our police in this situation way quicker.
Yeah. Husband may have been wrangling kids from the sound of it.
Yeah, I know. I might have been wrong to say what I did, but seriously, taking $5 from my toddler without talking to me about it makes me so mad. Why would you need to take my son's $5, with which we have been saying we would let him pick out stuff with it that day, and first off say you didn't touch his egg, but somehow have his $5 and apparently you're going to put it in the bank? So am I in the wrong to even question it? Not to mention my father-in-law came at my fiance with a heavy metal object in hand, and when my fiance defended me and himself, my mother-in-law tried to play victim. But as I was always told, don't take stuff that isn't yours and don't put your hands on people. I'm really tearing myself apart about this. Also, some context, I was 18 when I moved in with my fiance because of family issues. I had always offered to help clean and do dishes around the house. I got pregnant with my son at 19, but I had been working and giving mother-in-law money for our insurance on our car, etc., etc. When I was pregnant with my son, I became violently ill to the point I lost 15 pounds in a week. I had to be put on medication for that too. Mind you, I was still cleaning, etc., although not as frequently, because of my pregnancy and the symptom. Then, 5 months after my son was born, I found out I was pregnant again with my daughter. We had already moved out once prior, but the job my fiance had didn't work out. Also, we've been engaged since our second anniversary. My son was conceived 5 months later. Anyway, I suffered severe PPD after my son was born, so much so that I was diagnosed in the hospital 2 days after my son was born. Mother-in-law said this when I told her about it. Quote, "What do you have to be depressed about?" Also, father-in-law has a drinking problem. From 5 a.m. till the late p.m., he will drink. All they did prior was talk down on me and call me names, or just constantly talk crap about me for absolutely no reason and constantly look for reasons to say anything bad about me. They absolutely hated when I would stand up for myself. I always tried to be kind and connect with them with gifts, etc., and always asking them how they were and genuinely wanting to hear about how they were feeling or how their day was. The gifts me or my fiance would give them have gone unused or unworn or not even considered. Now, back to the main topic. After the cops were called by me, I was threatened days later by my father-in-law. He said, "Call the cops on us again and you'll find out." Well, good
So
news.
a threat.
He's too drunk to probably get up out of his chair. That's good news. Anyways, now my kids and I have absolutely no reason to be in contact with them, and I don't want them over there for any reason at all. Again, we are in our owned home. I've been no contact with them since the incident, other than going over there to pick up my kids after my fiance had us drop them off for a date night that was not planned by me, but my fiance, and was only a quick 1-hour meal.
Don't want to leave your kids with them.
Yeah, not anymore. Not after they're like,
You're no contact. How are you? I guess, okay, maybe wife's no contact, but husband's not. But
yeah.
why are we leaving the kids there after they were.
If dad's got a drinking problem, why are we leaving the kids there? You know?
Get a baby.
Not a great environment for the children. The police station called me and asked if I was going to press charges for misdemeanors on my mother-in-law. I decided not to, only for the sake of less drama, which is actually, spoiler alert, one of the best ways to go about life. I have actually always cared about my in-laws. I'm just tired of them treating me like garbage. There's plenty more I could share, especially due to the fact our nephew, 7, sister-in-law's son, was with me 24/7 from the time I moved in until present day. Even after the drama, he's been welcomed into our home. I had a friend post this for me before because I lost my account, but just regained access due to not being able to log in, forgot the password. I just need opinions on if I'm the a-hole and should have left it alone, or if I was right to stand my ground, especially since it was my son's money and candy. Not mine, not mother-in-law's, but my 3-year-old son. Honestly, it makes me upset just thinking about it because it wasn't for me or my fiance, but my son to spend however he wanted. A bank account to be opened costs $100 in the first place. Why was it necessary to take my son's $5?
Definitely doesn't cost $100, but I get what you mean.
But by the way, it's super necessary for you to take yourself over to Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Apple Podcasts and search up OK Storytime, because you're going to find full episodes of stories just like this. We do have a little bit left here. Do we have any closing thoughts, y'all?
If you're distancing yourself, you're doing everything right already. It was clearly awful, and you know that. And we know that. And everyone here knows that.
And we know this. And we know this. Someone I spoke to asked me, are you sure it wasn't given to nephew? But I can't assume, although it initially crossed my mind the day the altercation happened, because why was she so upset I'd asked about it? The explosion happened at the question about the candy. It was a lot of candy that was different from the normal Easter candy, which I didn't care if she had taken it. The kids didn't need all that much anyway. She could have just said, I ate it. And that would have been fine. I don't know. I guess y'all can tell how upset I am because I'm rambling. We're comfortable at home now, and I've chosen to go no contact, and my kids won't be around them until they can apologize. I've always been nothing but respectful towards them, and I've stood up for myself only a few times due to the BS father-in-law spewing away while wasted. Me and fiance have been together for 5 years, engaged for 4, and have our 2 children, 2 female and 3 male. So am I the a-hole? No.
Oh.
You're not. You're not. It'd be different. Like, I think I'm not a parent, but like, I think given the context that like your kid was the one like sort of slighted here by
He's 3.
yeah, it's like I would be really upset about that because it's not me. You're affecting my kid. You're affecting your grandchild.
My parents demand my savings to help my struggling sister.
Well, why didn't she save?
All right, this might sound like a horrible thing from the title, but please hear me out. I'm an 18-year-old man, and my sister is 22. Ever since we were young, she was always the priority for my parents. Don't get me wrong, they never treated me badly, but she was obviously the one they put more effort in. She would get better clothes, a better room, an allowance, and other things. By the way, this comes from Grand Thief Bluebird, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, while I was never treated badly, things were pretty good for me. I was never given any pocket money from my parents. I started work really early, 14, as I've learned a few things and skills in programming and had a good portfolio by then GitHub. So it was easier for me to get freelancing jobs in my country. There were some banks that allow underage people to open accounts, but they were still under the supervision of my parents. Since I started to work, I've become somewhat of an introvert. But that's not the point. Most of my adolescence I spent working on projects. Everything I got, I used to help out with my bills at home and saved up the rest of my account. The reason I did that was because it was my dream to go to a specific university. It's my dream school, as they have an extremely respected course in programming. And while college itself is free in my country, living isn't. And that school is one of the most expensive cities in my country. Now I'm finally 18 and we're in the middle of entrance exams. I've already passed the first test with flying marks and I believe the next one shouldn't be a problem as well. However, since I turned 18, I'm no longer suitable for the same kind of bank account I had, which was only for underage, and needed to change. My mother and I went to the bank to change the account, and during that time, she saw the amount of money I saved up. I'm gonna put numbers, but it's big enough for me to live without working for the duration of the course. Through it won't be a frugal life. So he's probably got like 30K saved up, I must say.
Yeah.
That day during dinner, she and my father started to talk about what I want to do in the future, and then I explained to them. However, a few moments later, they stopped me in my tracks. They said while that was all good, that I had an objective right now. My sister was in financial trouble as she just had her second kid, and her husband and her could really use some help. My mother asked me to give my sister my savings, and I was really shocked.
Your entire savings? That is a big ask.
Yikes.
Oh my gosh.
Why don't you guys just give her more of your money? You guys seem to like to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. It seems like I learned how to like provide for myself and she was relying on others.
That's such an insane ask of them. My goodness. What about when OP needs it? What about when OP like has kids or has, medical issues?
Well, you should have thought of that, Sonny.
He did. He did.
I told her how much I worked for that and that it was my money and I didn't want to give it to my sister as that meant not going to my dream college. Since my parents couldn't support me living there, my father said, well, you're still young and you always earn more money. Your sister needs it. I'd much rather eat a frog. We argued more and I went to my room. However, I'm being constantly pestered and I've been called an a-hole by my family. There's so much of this, but I can't help but feel like I'm a horrible person. Am I the a-hole? This is just a scenario where you know, you don't want to talk to your friends about, hey, I got like $50K in my bank account, and my sister thinks I'm the a-hole for not giving it to her, because your friends are gonna be like, well, shouldn't I get some of that money? You know, like,
yeah, it's like that just is so crazy to me to try to dictate like how other people use their savings, unless you're like a married couple or something like that. Like to tell someone how to spend their savings, it's like their savings is like the most sacred bank account you could have.
this is extremely wild.
Yeah.
Relevant comments. BXN years says, not the a-hole. Call your bank and make them aware of this and warn them of this. Make sure your account is in your name only and no one else can withdraw money. All the best to you. I lost my niece says, not the a-hole. If your sister is old enough to have 2 children and a husband, she's old enough to get her finances in line. Not to mention, it's your money. You earned it, and nobody should be forcing you to do anything you don't want to do with it. The fact that they took one look at your bank account and said, this should all go to our daughter, really does not sit right with me. And also, I remember when the dad was like, oh, you're young enough to still like go to that college, give the money to OP. Dude, the daughter is 22. She's young enough to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, because like, yes, that is a difficult situation to be in if she has her second kid, is that right? Or a kid, then and is struggling financially. That is, you know, understandable that you would want to help her out.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see, like, as a family, you know, trying to help her out or like trying to encourage others to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But expecting you to just give $30,000, well, I guess we don't know exactly how much, right?
I'm going to say 30.
That's what we're guessing. But just your entire savings, it's like you don't want to ask, like, hey, can you, like, I don't know, maybe make some food and, like, bring some food over to the house, which is a very nice and good
like
thing
help
to
out in
ask.
that state.
Yeah, like help out with things like that, or like help out with childcare if you can, or something like that, or help buy some diapers, like smaller things
Then
that still are like
all your money
pricey.
away.
Yeah, then because if the sister gets like a whole thing of savings, she might not know how to deal with it correctly, and then you're just
and
your
then
money's
it's
gone.
right back where she is 2 years later.
Exactly.
OP says, when asked what bills he helped with, I've helped with electricity, water, rent, and utilities and groceries. It wasn't a huge amount. I usually give them 40% of what I made during the month. I just worked a lot. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Your parents 40% of what you make? Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Updates. First of all, I want to thank everyone who sent amazing ideas and good vibes. I can't really express how much I appreciate all that. A few people have commented and sent me messages asking for an update. I apologize for the delay, but a lot of things happened. First of all, thank you to all those who told me to change bank accounts and banks. While that account was already under my name alone, I took an extra step of changing banks. Now the whole problem is with my family. After I read the replies on the post, I knew I wasn't in the wrong and decided to confront my parents on that. I told them I was not going to give up my dream, especially since I worked hard to achieve it. That escalated our conflict, especially after they found out I changed banks, and it accumulated with my parents punting me out of our house. I expected them to be angry, but I never expected that overreaction. Regardless, I can't really cry over spilt milk. Bro is just calling this spilt milk. Oh my gosh.
This is so not just spilt milk. Oh my gosh.
I managed to find a friend who allowed me to stay at his house for a few days. And that's the reason I haven't posted this sooner. I stayed for a few days and decided it was time for me to move to the city, which I hope to attend college. Now I found an apartment and I already moved cities. I will need to find work for now, as currently I do not have a roommate, as I was hoping to find one once college started. To be honest, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing right now, but that's something I'll have to learn. I'll change my documents and especially the place I'll be taking the second stage of the entrance exam. So all I can do now is wait until I can see what the future holds for me in storage. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
We got a lot more here. Okay. He's going to talk about his sister, but dude, it's just crazy how like having like X amount of money can help you whenever your parents just abandon you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh,
And
this is so crazy.
And good thing that you kept all of that money because, like you said, when they abandon you, like, what would happen? What would happen if you did give your money to the sister and then something else made them mad that you didn't want to do for them and then they kicked you out and then you have no more savings to live off of?
Yeah.
Like, Oh my gosh.
And you're gonna be successful. And they're gonna always be asking you for money from now on because they don't.
Good.
Because you're helping out with electricity, water, and rent
Yeah.
before 18.
Yeah. Because I
Dude.
know, like, in some situations, like, that is just kind of how it is. And that's understandable. But still, like, you got to understand that is a lot to ask of a child,
Oh,
of a minor.
yeah. This is wild. For those who asked about my sister, I contacted her after I was punted out and explained to her the situation. She was mortified, and she told me that she once never asked her parents for help or money. She said it was indeed title money, but nothing she and her husband couldn't handle, and she would never accept my money. Wow. And by the way, we all will always accept you listening to our fun podcast. All you gotta do is go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime, and boom. We're gonna be there with so much fun and help. And
That's
we
right.
accept you.
That's right. We'll always accept you,
Dude,
people.
did you see this come from a sister?
Was I thinking that it was coming from the sister?
No, but did you think like I didn't know this was the sister's heart?
I didn't think so either. I thought the sister was like kind of like gonna be like, well, yeah, help me out. But
Wow.
that's very refreshing that she's like, no, I didn't know about that. Like that's very nice. So that OP isn't like totally alone in this.
Yeah.
And maybe two can be against the parents, and maybe the sister can say something against them because
Yeah.
sounds like they'll only listen to her.
Dude. Oh, that sister. He's like, dude, I never wanted this to happen. It's just how our parents treated us.
Yeah.
I never wanted you to be yada yada yada.
Yeah. Exactly. Ugh.
Oh, his sister's kind of a victim too. Just to make sure, I have absolutely no resentment of my sister. While we did grow up apart once she got married, she's still my sister. I believe she didn't have anything to do with my parents' behavior, and I'm very thankful for that. I absolutely adore my niece, and I'm looking forward to meet my nephew one of these days. Anyways, my parents still much think I'm the a-hole and an ungrateful child, still sending messages and stuff like that. I'm just ignoring it for now, but I can't say it doesn't hurt to see my own parents say stuff like that. Well, anyways, I want to thank you all for being so nice to me and for everything else. Stay safe, everyone. We have 2 small updates.
Onion says, unless she lied, lol. Yeah, that honestly is a option too. I was wondering that too. But
Yeah.
hopefully that's not the case.
Comment 1, Advice Panda, can you please make another update whether you were going to the college and how you're doing? Hope he says, hey there, thank you for remembering me. I don't really think I'll make a full update, but I can at least tell you this. I've been well. It's hard living in a new city, but I finished my entrance exams and was accepted into college.
All right.
I started my course not too long after this update was made in March, and I'm well in the middle of the semester. I'm loving it. I'm doing the best I can. I haven't yet contacted my parents since I left, but occasionally I talk on my sister through video calls. Once more, thanks for remembering me. And 3 years later, we have a comment. Hey, just saw your first 2 posts on your parents. How is life going? I hope you're well. Opie says, things aren't that much different. I haven't talked with my parents since.
Wow.
I do have some contact with my sister, but we live almost 500 kilometers away.
Dang.
213 miles for those who are wondering.
Is that really it?
And that's it.
213?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Wow.
What? You don't think so, Keon?
That's odd that you know that.
It's
I knew it.
310 miles away.
There we go.
I was
Like, that's
100
just-
miles
You said it
off.
with your chest. I was like, why do you know that
I know, it's
specific
like-
number?
I'm just really
Dang.
good at guessing numbers, and then sometimes it's good, sometimes
That was
it's
not a really,
Really good at
guess.
lying to us.
I have
Hey,
water,
now.
I have water, I have water.
Oh, yeah? You think I care?
Please care.
Folks, if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you and
And
see you tomorrow.